Welcome back, you guys. This is Tim Postleway. You are listening to night number 3 of A to Z Movie Night's 13 Nights of Halloween. Tonight we are doing The Shining. Enjoy.
Hell yeah, Buster.
I'm ready.
Fuck yeah, Buster.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of A to Z Movie Night. This is our third film in the 13 Nights of Halloween, and it's the 21st, and tonight we are doing The Shining. And I am here with the OG crew, with Mr. Aaron Barnhill and Tim Postle.
Word.
What's up, guys? So The Shining, man, like this is our hype movie, and there's a reason it's coming out on the 21st, which we'll get into throughout it. But this will also be a lot
of symbolism.
This will also be the longest movie we've done. It's coming in at like almost 2.5 hours. So this will be a nice long one. And we've been wanting to do this one for a while, right?
This is one we talked about several nights at the bar.
Yeah. Before we even started the podcast up, we had our eyes on this movie, right. And this is I know that this is the one that Emily wants to hear more than any other.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I slipped it to her and let her know that we were doing it, and she got super stoked.
Yeah. So get hype, everyone. Get hype.
So The Shining is a 1980 horror film. It's produced and directed by Stanley Kubrick. I think this is the first Stanley Kubrick movie we've done. It's co-written. The film is co-written with novelist Diane Johnson. The film is based on Stephen King's 1977 novel of the same name. Aaron, you want to come at us with the trailer synopsis?
Yeah.
One thing I want to say to our listeners before you do that, we do these in sync with the film. Y'all know we always do a countdown and start. I know a lot of y'all probably don't watch the film along with the podcast. I highly recommend that you do that on this episode.
Oh, Tim's got some shit up his sleeve.
Very good disclaimer.
This very good movie, disclaimer. Very, very much so. I recommend that you do the watch along.
Is that because there's so many like visual cues,
symbolism? It'll be a lot better for you as a listener. I recommend it.
So what I'm gathering from this, Tim, is that out of any movie that we've done so far, this one's going to be more of a study / dissection. Yeah, and it would behoove you as a listener to watch along.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good disclaimer. All right, so here's my trailer. Jack Torrance becomes winter caretaker at isolated Overlook Hotel in Colorado, hoping to cure his writer's block. I already fucked this up, guys. Sorry. He settles in along with his wife, Wendy, and son, Danny, who is plagued by psychic premonitions. As Jack's writing goes nowhere and Danny's visions become more disturbing, Jack discovers the hotel's dark secrets and begins to unravel into a homicidal maniac hell-bent on terrorizing his family. Sorry about fucking that up, you guys.
So terrible.
It was so terrible.
You have to practice.
We're gonna cut that out.
This is the third one in 13 Nights. I hope y'all have enjoyed them so far. I mean, it's kind of weird because we're putting these out way after the fact of recording them.
Yeah.
But we know we wanted to get back on this one. It was good to get Tim back. We haven't done a movie night with just Tim, with just the gang in a while.
Right,
so.
The OG crew.
Yeah, so you'll probably would have listened to Willow by then. That was another one of those situations, and I think that'll be a really good episode. We'll just see whatever comes out.
Yeah, that's a very heartfelt episode.
So you know the drill. We're going to start it at 3, 2, 1. So let me give that countdown. It's going to be like, I guess, right around the Warner Brothers.
Is there a lot of extra versions of this? Like a lot of different cuts? No?
I think so.
Pretty much
it's just pretty much straight up.
Yeah.
All right, so if you start before the production titles.
Just start around the Warner Bros. Label. So in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, man, I'm pumped.
Here we are.
Hell yeah, bro.
This one's been a long time coming.
We've been wanting to do this one for quite a while, and then we decided that whenever we came up with the idea for the 13 Nights, this would be the perfect time to do it. We didn't want to do it because it was so long, but let's do our
yeah. So
let's do our
so let's do our shot.
Our first shot.
I love this job.
And the first shot of the film, our first shot of the night.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying, you guys know the format by now. We usually go around and kind of give like a little reason why we have an appreciation for this film. And I'm going to go ahead and hand the floor over to the expert of this movie, Tim.
Yeah.
Tim, why is this one of your favorite films of all time?
When I was younger, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I read all of his books at that time, that had come up to that point. So when I read a book, I went to Blockbuster and checked out the movie. You know, I will say that is probably one of the only times in this whole episode that I'm even going to mention Stephen King. My part in this is I'm talking about the film. Stephen King hated this movie. It is very, very, very different from the book, and in my opinion, leaps and bounds better than the book. It's a lot different, but this thing is a masterpiece to me. It is not just a horror film.
Have you read the book?
Long ago, yeah.
Long ago,
it's
I really wanted to read it beforehand.
It's okay, but then when you watch this, you're like, oh god. I mean, Kubrick took this.
He made it his own.
And just basically, he even does a fuck you to Stephen King later in the film, I'll point out. It's crazy.
Gorillas. Where was this shot?
They shot a lot of it. The interiors were on
I'm talking
L
about
Street.
this.
L Street Studios.
This is Colorado.
This is Colorado, where it's supposed to take place.
I drove here when I was a kid, but that's... Anyway, sorry.
Well, I'll get to I'm getting ahead of myself. A lot of these helicopter shots right here, there was a lot of unused footage that was then used by Ridley Scott at the end of the theatrical version of Blade Runner.
No shit.
Yeah. He used a lot of these helicopter shots. Mm-hmm. A lot of the unused shots are in the theatrical version.
That was from the childhood memories and stuff.
And then the ending where they drive off. They drive off into the sunset in the ending. They changed that ending later, but yeah, Ridley Scott. And there is another not reference, I guess, but similarity to Blade Runner in this film that I will point out again later when that comes. But go, Zach. What about you?
Man,
I have been there.
I don't really have any I don't have too much of a what.
If you notice, we're talking about the symbolism of numbers. There's 42 cars in that parking lot.
Are you serious?
The number 42 will come up a lot in this film.
So we're looking at packed out everything.
I don't really have too much of a childhood connection. I remember it never. They don't really put it on TV in an unedited fashion because they really have to trim it down for time and all those things. But I remember I don't remember watching the whole movie when I was younger. I just remember the important scenes. I remember the blood through the elevators.
Johnny and all
that. I remember pieces of it because even now, I got a copy of it whenever we knew we were going to do it, and I kind of just watched some of it, just bits and pieces. And whenever we have these movies that we love, and you don't watch them for a long time, you forget a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff packed in here that we probably will remember just as we're watching it, but. I remember my mom reading the novel, though. That's the place where it stands out, really. She read the novel, and it really, freaked her out. And I remember her being, weirded out for, a couple of days after she finished reading it because even the novel was so terrifying, So it's classic. It's Jack Nicholson. I love Jack Nicholson, and he plays his role really well. Everything behind it, Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick is just...
a genius.
A genius in film.
He's actually a literal genius. He has an IQ of over 200.
Yeah, it makes sense why he's such an asshole. Yeah. But yeah, it's really that. It's just it's a classic for a reason, and how his shots and everything like that. It just speaks to everything that I love about watching movies and everything I get out of them. So that's what. Aaron, what's yours? What do you?
Well, I really like this film because the first time I saw it was when I was 12 years old, and I watched it with my mom because we were going to go visit my aunt in Colorado, and she said, "Hey, let's watch this movie. Because I didn't know what Colorado looked like, and the only thing she could know to show me was this with the helicopter shots in first and the exteriors of the overlook and all that. She's like, this is where we're gonna go. We're gonna go see your aunt, and this is what it looks like."
Such a fucked up way of showing you Colorado.
Well, I mean, yeah, we didn't have YouTube when I was 12. I'm old, so.
I know, but any other movie. Was there any other movie?
I guess that's just the standout one, but I
Tim's raising his hand.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no.
No, we can come back to it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish.
Okay.
This scene goes on for a few minutes, so I'll get to it.
All right, so that was my first exposure, and it was when I was 12. It was when I was starting to get out of my extremely scaredy cat phase. Uh-huh. Before that, I was absolutely terrified of everything, even the X-Files theme music would make me run to my room. I was so scared of literally everything in the entire world. So I watched this, and yeah, it did scare me a lot. The zombie tub scene scared the fuck out of me. Everything, it still did, but
that's
I watched
the most legit. That's the most standard scary scene in the movie.
The old crone.
Right. So it scared me, and then, when I went to film school, I revisited it and I dissected it as like a masterclass work and everything, and saw what happens when you take the reins of your film and you just do everything with such deliberate intention where it's like overboard.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I became something of a big fan of this film.
Kubrick is a known perfectionist.
Absolutely. That's another reason why I said watch along with us. Every single frame of this movie is intentional.
It's
nothing,
all,
nothing. Even to the placement of
even to the placement of all these knicknacks.
Doesn't this movie have? Isn't there a scene in it that's like the most retakes?
There's
of
two scenes.
So we'll save that for later.
When they come up. Now, what I wanted to get to.
Look at the framing
things,
here.
Two things in this. That window is an impossible window. If you look at when they walk around this place and everything, this office that they're in should be enclosed inside the building. They call it the impossible window. It shouldn't exist.
Yeah,
sure.
Is there a reasoning behind that?
Well, they could. Yeah, you can infer.
Is this guy God or something?
That's what a lot of people you could say. But this other character in the interview, his name's Bill Watson. He doesn't say anything. He just kind of sits there and just kind of stares at Jack. And all through their tour of the hotel, you will notice he is always walking along behind them, just kind of observing. He looks like a second to Ullman, but it's almost like
he's not really there.
He's either not really there, or he's actually the real one doing the interview right now. Ullman is just kind of the face of the hotel. This Bill Watson character probably knows what the truth of this place is.
So what is he telling? What is he telling him here? He's saying that other people have had problems.
How about your wife and son?
Yeah. He does mention an old story about a former caretaker named Grady who killed his two daughters, his wife, and then put a shotgun in his mouth.
Oh yeah. I don't want to discourage you from this job, EAC, but I will go ahead and tell you this thing you probably didn't even need to know.
Yeah.
This place causes people to go insane.
But yeah, Bill Watson is a very special character because that actor played Pontius Pilate in another movie. To me, he's the real one in charge. He's protecting the hotel not from a business standpoint, but from the spirits and everything that are in there. And he just look at that look on his face.
Yeah.
This is the story of Charles Grady.
All right, I'm gonna make a little observation real quick. The character that you were just speaking about, did you notice he looks like a really old John Cusack?
Yeah, and he has a little semblance to Jack Nicholson himself too.
I think he looks like an old John Cusack, which is funny because he was in 1408, a movie that I think was like just a complete
That's
homage.
A really good
That's
movie.
another Stephen King.
But I think it was an homage to this. I really do.
Yeah, he chopped him up with an axe, stacked him in the room, and blew his brains out.
Then he put barrels of a shotgun in his mouth.
I love Jack's tie right there.
I just like his face. Have you ever seen Jack Nicholson just sitting around not looking crazy? I've never not once seen him
he
not
was
looking
perfect
crazy.
for this. He was a little over the top.
Yeah.
But it works because Kubrick loves, like we said, he's a perfectionist. So he take after take after take until Jack just didn't have anything left, and he would start just making faces and being goofy and
just being angry,
bringing out
the ones that would,
he
would start going crazy.
Yeah, Kubrick was very good about putting his actors through distress. If they weren't good enough, they weren't up to his par.
Yeah.
Especially the story between how he breaks down Shelley Duvall in this movie because she couldn't do what he wanted. He couldn't get the performance out of her, so he just berated terrorized her, and broke her down as a person until he got what he needed out of her.
Well, it's a common thing we've talked about on this podcast. Not even just in the movie night, but just there's these, you got to separate people from the art, but it's also there's people like Kubrick who would do things that now you would, be a pariah for treating people that way.
Well, you would get sued.
Or you get sued, but he did them for the art.
This scene right here, this slow zoom in.
That's a truck.
Danny already knows. Notice that sticker of the dwarf. That is
Snow White. Yeah.
That's Dopey.
Dopey?
That's Dopey. I'll come back. No, so Danny is shining right now. Basically, he's he already knows that Jack got the job before he even calls and tells Wendy that he got the job.
Hi, hon. How's it going?
Great. Look, I'm at the hotel and I still have an awful lot to go through. I don't think I could get home before 9 or 10.
You're right about
Sounds like you got the
Kubrick,
job.
though. He puts his actors through hell. Have you ever read about the production of Full Metal Jacket and like how much stress those guys went under?
Here,
I don't know.
What did he do? Which actor?
Tell me.
all of them.
All of them. But specifically, I can't remember that guy's name, but the fat guy who was also in like Jurassic World and a bunch of
Oh,
movies.
Frank.
Vince Vaughn.
No, it's not Vince Vaughn.
Vince
Lost-
Vaughn.
not the Lost
Vince Vaughn
World.
played
No,
Gomer Pyle in Full Metal
no,
Jacket.
he's not. That's not Vince Vaughn.
Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio.
yeah, Vince Vaughn.
Played Gomer Pyle.
Oh, look at
Okay,
that.
there's our first.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to do a shout out to a sponsor that I got us.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
Stay Free Maxi Pads. When your uterine lining looks like the elevator from The Shining,
Stay free,
Stay Free
Maxi
Maxi
Stay free
Pads.
Max.
Send
Now,
us, send us
they're-
free maxi pads.
So yeah, we're like 12 minutes in, and we got some blood pouring down a hallway, and the glimpse of the twins. So
Yeah, well, yeah, Danny just had his first vision or shine of the hotel. So,
so
he-
those little cuts are him shining.
Yeah, he's having visions. Yeah. So Tony, his little person he talks to, just showed him, just showed him something about the hotel.
What he was
basically.
in for?
Yeah, kind of warning him.
Or saw any bright flashing lights or
They don't
And
ever
this-
really. They don't. I mean, Scatman Carruthers gives like a little explanation of what The Shining is, but they don't ever really, because Stephen King's works have always been somewhat tied. They've always been tied to some kind of metaphysical, kind of weird. Like,
Yeah, this book was
thing.
unabashedly mystical. I
Well,
guess you'd say.
wasn't most of the book like based around like alcoholism? Like that's what.
That's part of Jack Torrance's backstory that they don't really go into in this as much as the
He kind of
book.
mentions it. As
He's a recovering alcoholic. Yeah, he says a line later about being on the wagon and all the irreparable harm it's caused him.
Yeah, but like in the book, I think he broke Danny's arm.
He broke
or
his
pulled
arm.
He pulled his
Yeah.
shoulder out of socket or something because he was mad and he like yanked on him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reason why they're kind of doing this, I think.
Yeah,
That's what's getting him up there.
he was a school teacher. He got fired after they found out that he did that.
why not?
He had desk whiskey.
He went into recovery and AA, and
Where does he go?
yeah, there's a lot of and again that plays a big part in his character. Obviously, Kubrick was not one to hold your hand and explain all that out to you. You figure that out on your own if you're He trusts that you understand that without spelling the whole thing out. Okay, now we saw that dopey sticker before Danny had his vision, before he was
Yes.
ignorant to what the hotel was.
Yo, why that kid got his pants off though?
You get a checkup.
Oh, watch this.
Okay. Bye.
They walk out of the room, that sticker's not there anymore on the door. You notice that? And that's not a mistake.
No, nothing's a mistake. in
Now
this movie.
Danny knows, so he's not dumb anymore.
Yeah, no, nothing's a mistake. in
That
this
he was dopey before, but now he knows what's going on already. So they
Shit.
took that sticker off the door to kind of symbolize that
Torrance?
he
It's-
knows he knows what's going on.
It's awesome that is the case because the last few movies that we've done, I don't know if they've been out yet or whatever, but like the last few movies done, we it's basically the B movie, the kind of shitty ones like Tremors. Is like we
Continuity
make a
errors.
big point of pointing those out, but like there's no continuity errors.
Yeah, with Kubrick, it's all
No, dude,
I
intentional.
wonder
This-
who Kubrick's continuity person is because they probably have a really
He,
hard
They
job.
had a hard time. I
He was
guarantee.
he was a photographer,
Mrs. Torrance.
and that's why he was such a perfectionist. If he hadn't been a director, he would have been the world's greatest cinematographer ever. He knew how to frame a shot and to make sure everything in that shot was exactly what he wanted it to be. There's photos of behind the scenes of him
If it really
in the dry food storage area of him placing certain products on the shelf, not even just placing those particular products there, but the way they face outward
right.
too. I mean, to that level of detail.
have you been in Boulder long, Mrs. Torrance?
Only about 3 months.
I'll wait till we get to another shot here to tell a little personal story.
Yeah, if you this movie pretty much invented like film theories. Before YouTube and everything was out, and everyone was doing like very long video essays about films and books. This kind of started it all. Like, this is so packed with symbolism and placements and homages and everything that I think it really did start the, I don't know, just the act of combing through a movie for stuff and making theories, and there's
picking stuff out.
And there's more theories about symbolism in this than anything else. If you go on YouTube and just like type in like the Shining theory,
oh god,
you'll see so much. Oh my gosh, you'll figure out that we didn't land on the moon.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
There's two stories that Kubrick was using the horror genre as a stepping off point to tell two different stories, and one of them is pretty much confirmed: the massacre of Native Americans.
Yeah.
By us, and you'll see that they say that the hotel was built on an Indian burial ground.
Right,
and even
right.
while they were building it, they even were attacked by Indians a few times while the hotel was being built. You see a lot of the decor in the main lobby. There's pictures of Native Americans, and the blankets on the couches are clearly that way.
Right.
Then the other story that he's trying to tell in this, and I'm not saying
that cigarette, girl. Come on.
yeah, right. It bugs me. I'm not saying I subscribe to this theory. It is very, very interesting, and I'll point out all the little things that are hidden throughout this movie to justify it. Is that I'm not saying we didn't land on the moon. I'm saying the footage we were shown was fake. And a lot of people say it's 2001, which was Kubrick, came out in 1968.
No, this is your belief.
Well,
no.
By the end of the movie, tell me you don't believe it too.
He's just explaining the theory.
The common theory that I kind of would agree with is that yes, Kubrick did shoot footage. We did land on the moon, but maybe
what we were shown
what we saw was fake.
Right, and the people have picked it apart because 2001 came out.
Which I would like to do 2001 and talk about the making of it, because
it came out a year before.
Also, because the main
moon.
Character's last name is Bowman, so it's kind of
Dave
These are
Bowman.
So we kind of have like honestly, with this movie, we kind of have a hard road to hoe, and I'm kind of thinking out loud. This is like a little behind the scenes on this. Is usually we try to balance being entertaining with giving the movie its due.
Yeah, because this movie has been picked apart.
And in this movie, it's probably going to be a little bit less of us goofing around being entertaining. It's probably going to be a lot more of us
sucking this movie's dick.
Dissecting the movie and figuring it out. I'm going to try to do a good job, but with 2001, that's going to be even more so. Is like
because it's not.
Well, 2001 was almost like
it
was almost like a test project. They saw that and said, "Oh, hey, this guy could do this.
Sure,
he can fake the footage so we can beat the Russians to the moon." There was the big space race and all that going on, and we needed to prove that we got there first. And supposedly he was hired. He had to keep it secret. He couldn't tell anybody, including his wife.
They basically funded that movie.
I've seen that, yeah.
He couldn't tell his wife either. So a lot of this is Stanley Kubrick subliminally, or not even subliminally. There's certain scenes when Jack's talking to her when he's like, I have an obligation to my employers. Yeah. What do you think would happen if I failed? And it's Kubrick kind of telling his wife,
it's his diary.
I did it, and I'm going to show you in this movie, but I can't come right out and say it. It's
I hope one day we know exactly what happened.
There's a couple things in here that point to that. Okay, real quick. This is Mount Hood, Fort Hood, Portland, Oregon, where I was born. Me and my dad, when we drove up there.
Oh, you were born there?
Uh-huh. We drove, and I swear I was young, but it felt like we drove up that mountain all day long to get there, because we found out that that's where the Shining was filmed. I'm going to fit real quick. Jack's reading a Playgirl magazine.
Oh, yeah?
Not Playboy, Playgirl magazine.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just reading it for the articles, all right?
Yeah, that's why do they have that in their lobby? But we drove all the way up there all day long, got there, and even it was
How the fuck did you know that's a Playgirl? You have been diving deep, brother.
Well, look, right there, you can see it.
Nobody would notice that.
So we get up, we drive all the way up there, and bam, those exterior shots, we find out when we got up there, the exteriors were filmed there.
Yeah, they were done there.
The interiors were filmed in L Street Studios.
All those.
So those are all studios? Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, Kubrick was very famously afraid of flying.
It's a very nice setup for a studio shot, though.
Well, when you see the exterior of the hotel, the interior is just so huge. There's no way all this could fit into that hotel. As soon as we walked in the lobby.
But knowing they built this into a studio, that looks like a finished place.
Yeah, it's amazing. We drove all the way up there. As soon as we walked in the lobby, I was like, "This ain't the right place." And
Oh,
the lady
see,
at the,
now they're talking about. I'm sorry, Tim, but now they're talking about all the Indian,
Navajos.
yeah,
Navajo and Apache artwork and everything.
yeah, you
so.
can see it on the walls and stuff. But yeah, just the exterior was filmed up there in Oregon.
You were so hyped. You were going up there all day.
They had cut down the hedge maze a year earlier.
God damn it!
I was so heartbroken. But yeah, I was there at the exterior.
You wanted to
shots.
run through it with a fireman's axe. I
Yeah.
understand.
I wanted to go crazy. And they changed the name of the room from what was it? 217 to 237 in this because the hotel owners were afraid nobody want to stay in that room. That's actually not true. They don't even have a room called 217 in the hotel.
Dang, man.
I think Kubrick changed it. Oh,
Oh,
I'll
my
tell
God.
you.
Jesus Christ.
This was the scariest shit to me when I was 12.
Yeah.
This is the scariest.
Little
This
twins.
is what's scary about this movie to me, anyway.
Those
Yeah.
girls still do
wasn't-
horror conventions and stuff together.
Oh,
Do they really?
They were at Frightmare last year.
Come play with us.
One reason that people say, going back to the whole moon landing,
Yep.
a big theory of why they changed
Did you see the exit sign wiggling? The exit sign was wiggling.
as they walked under it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like a video glitch or if it was like a warning to him.
It's almost. Yeah.
I need to go back and look. I can't go back now, but
No, yeah.
One big reason that they say he changed the room number from 217 to 237 is because the moon is 237,000 miles away from Earth. Take what you want from that.
Nah, dude. Well, let me tell you my piece real quick. I'm gonna say it loud and proud. The footage might be faked, but we still went to the moon.
Yeah, I'm not saying we didn't land on the moon. I'm saying the footage we were
doubt.
showing was fake.
No doubt. And honestly, like the whole, the first mission, you know what I mean? Like the first one where the moon landing with Buzz Aldrin and all that, there's a lot of aspects of that could be fake.
Yeah,
but we still
Apollo 11.
We still landed on the moon. There's concrete. Anybody that's like a moon landing denier out there, just know that there is concrete evidence that human beings have touched the surface of the moon. There's a prismatic reflector that's on there that you can like aim a laser at and it will bounce right back at you, and it's on specific coordinates on the surface of the moon. We went there. There just might have been some fuckery about the first.
Yeah.
But
We just needed footage out there to
Yeah.
show the American people that it have. This is where he's talking construction 1907.
that's real
The
old.
site's supposed to be on an Indian burial ground. They had to repel a few Indian attacks as they were building it. That's not foreboding.
No, not at all. Not at all. Bro, what is that vehicle?
That's a snowcat.
I need one of
Snow
those.
track.
Yeah.
I need that.
Very much like a car, and it won't take you long to get the hang of it.
Can I get one of those?
Matter of fact,
These dissolves that he does, just dissolves usually are used in film to represent a long passage,
passage
of time,
time,
yeah.
meaning that they've been walking around this place for hours. You know,
this is our gold ballroom.
the Gold Ballroom. It's supposed to take place in Colorado. The Gold Rush.
so all of the interior shots are in a studio.
Yeah, famous L Street Studios in England.
That's crazy. Because I mean, they built like really, truly iconic sets. I mean,
Look
these.
how high those ceilings
Well,
are.
I mean, but it's not even. It's like why I think it's crazy that they built them on a set is because, you know, shooting on set is the reason they shoot on set is to be cheap or to do something really crazy. But like these are really. I mean, they're probably plasterboard, all that, but like these are well designed sets, and they had to build each one individually and do all these shots, and it's just like it's that extra mile kind of thing. Like you hear about that. What's that city that's out in the desert that people have been trying to find for that DeVille movie they made? Like they basically built this the biggest set ever built.
You alright, Zach?
And whenever I'm burping,
I know,
and
I
whenever
see
they finished shooting, like they buried it so nobody else could use it. So like back in the day, they would just dump this massive amount of work and time and money on building these huge sets. You know, like this
Westerns
is something they're
movies
going to
like
tear down after they're
Cleopatra
done
and stuff
shooting.
like
Yeah,
that.
You know,
Yeah,
Westerns.
it's such a shame, yeah, because it just all gets torn down when the film's over.
There's quite a bit of Westerns that actually built their little frontier town as a set and just left it out there. You can buy them. You can buy the whole town if you look it up. Like look up film set Western towns, and you can.
This is the
You can buy 'em.
Didn't we say that they did that in Tremors?
Yeah, they did that in Tremors. Yeah,
yeah, but that's like a
But
small.
that was like trailers, and
This
it was
is
only one
this
building.
the Sphinx. The Sphinx was unearthed from a 1923 Cecil B. DeMille movie set. So like he built this huge movie set for
ready for my
the
close-up,
Ten
Mr.
Commandments, for the Ten Commandments, and he
boy.
built 21 sphinxes
Oh,
and an
yeah, yeah.
800-foot wide. Like he built all these huge things, and then like he tried to bury it and let people so people wouldn't use it. But that's what they used to do is they build these fantastic sets that look so real and just
Well, they are real.
yeah. But it was that what do you call it, the eccentricity or the being eccentric, and just like he did it because he wanted it to be exactly how he wanted it to be.
Yeah, well, and another reason they usually use sets instead of live locations is because you can control the environment more too. You can build a hallway big enough, as big as you want it, so you can get the camera in there.
Yeah, because you couldn't
the
get this.
angles
You
that
couldn't get
want.
this shot
Yeah,
in an actual freezer.
that's slow zoom in. He does a lot of very slow zooms. He guides your eye to what he wants you to be looking
those
at.
Those aren't zooms, those are trucks.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things too.
Because
There's
zooms is lens.
Yeah,
and that's movement.
there is a
The camera's
difference,
moving.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Steadicam use in this.
Yeah,
Kubrick actually hired the guy that invented the Steadicam,
Right.
Because he wanted the best person, to do
this
it.
is
And
like-
they even made what they just called it like a little truck.
Well, no, I'm reading here right.
Stanley
I'm,
Kubrick, you so extra.
Well, I'm reading right here on the Wikipedia. It said the new Steadicam. So like this is whenever the Steadicam had just come out.
It had
Yeah,
just come
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of the first films to use the Steadicam.
Right. So it's not. Before that, everything was on tracks. You would make a
a
track.
dolly, yeah.
You would make a not even like a wheel,
Little
like
mini
a
railroad
track,
tracks,
right?
basically.
And you would have a cart, and you would put the
In this one, the guy could just run around. When
could run
Danny's
around,
on
yeah.
his big wheel, the guy can just run right behind
Right,
him.
right.
And those are some of the best shots. That's like the
So,
camera's like 3
actually-
inches off the ground.
So this right here is a zoom. I don't know if you can tell the difference.
that's a zoom, yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
a zoom. That's a zoom. But there's a
Tang.
difference between the zoom and the trucks. They have a very different.
It changes
okay,
your perspective.
Tang and
Yeah.
Calumet baking powder.
Actually, that was a pull zoom. The camera moved while he was zooming.
Tang famously drank by astronauts
Mm-hmm,
on the ship, and Calumet baking powder with the Indian on the thing to represent the massacre of the Native Americans. I feel like those are two, because like we said, everything is intentional.
The astronauts drink Tang. I'm gonna drink it too.
I mean, I'd like to do
It's
I'd like to
just
do a
little-
shout out to Scatman Carruthers.
Yeah,
This
the
guy.
famous Scatman got this job because him and Jack Nicholson were personal friends.
Really?
He
Yeah.
asked, as a favor for Stanley Kubrick, he
Well-
asked if he could put him, because they had been in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Like a
okay,
year
so
before
like the
this.
big thing Scatman done, if nobody's seen this movie or anything like that, like if you know old school like cartoons, Hong Kong Phooey, he was the lead voice.
That's right. That's
he
right.
did Jazz the Autobot and the Transformers.
That's right.
And then also did Meadowlark Lemon and the Harlem Globetrotters, plus a lot of other stuff.
That's
He
why
was
he
in
makes
Aristocrats,
He
the
makes that joke to
Aristocats.
Danny. He talks about Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, yeah.
And even more than that, a lot of voice actors pretty much would make their characters based on Scatman.
But this guy was like an old school musician. Like he
Yeah.
played on like the circuits back in Chicago. He played for Al
musician.
Capone and like all these things. Like he was like a big music man back in like the 30s or 40s. Like, but you know, they were called what was it? He performed like the Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy. Like he was he's Scatman. Like he was a
Scatman,
performer, like an
yeah,
old
yeah.
school performer. But he got into movies. and
This
stuff like that.
scene right here is famous for, I think it's 86 or 87 takes that they did of this scene. I believe it's 86.
How did they not get in trouble for this kid and having to put this kid through all these
Well, they said the kid was fine. Apparently, after a certain amount of takes in this scene, Scatman Crothers started crying and was begging Stanley Kubrick. He's like, I don't know what you want from me. He's like, I've done it so many different ways. And he broke down crying on the set because he was just like, what do you want from me, Stanley? He's like, maybe you need to recast me. I might not be the guy.
Yeah.
And Kubrick was just getting what he wanted out of him, you know? That 86, even if he got a good performance on the 5th take,
Yeah.
he was going to, do more. Supposedly, Danny Lloyd, the actor's name, was fine. They put ice cream in front of him, and he was totally fine because he didn't do a lot of talking in the
Just
scene.
sit there and listen.
It's Scatman, yeah,
He just looks.
yeah. Just look bored and eat ice cream.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh, that kid became a biology professor at a community college in Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he did any other acting after this.
He played young Liddy in the 1982 television film Will G. Gordon Liddy, which is, I don't know what that is. I think it's
So
a
talk-
politician.
Biography.
Talking about like child actors, and this is a movie that you and I have both seen, but independently. Tim, was The Quiet Place we just watched, or not Quiet Place. What's it called? What's that movie called we just saw? Was it A Quiet Place?
Yeah.
Quiet Place?
Yeah, that's the name of it. Anyway, man, I saw that, and you had a lot worse things to say about it than I did. I liked it a lot better, but those kid actors, they set like a new bar for kid actors.
Dude, there's like a big...
Those children were
there's a
that girl's really
phenomenal.
dead.
There's been a big
They were
resurgence.
phenomenal.
And I'll credit Netflix for the most part. It's like there's been a big resurgence of like child actors have been killing it lately.
Yeah, they
Stranger
have,
Things.
The kids in the It remake.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
It
that's
remake-
true.
yeah,
And
they
it's
were
really
really
hard to
killer
get a good
which is one of those
kid
kids.
actor. They can make or break a film.
Yeah.
But the kid's not good.
Yeah.
And it's hard because they're young, it's
For sure.
understandable.
I mean,
But every once in a while, you just get one that's like, oh my God, don't ever grow up.
and it hasn't been this way since the 80s. Like there was a
Yeah.
lot of child actors in the 80s, which is why there's a lot of
Well, it
fucked
seems
up
like
adults
most
now.
of the child actors from the '90s have been really fucked up. I just hope that there's been some kind of change that makes these kids be able to get out of being a kid actor
and be safer.
and be safer.
It-
I think
it's,
so,
it's
yeah.
hard for them
It
to
seems
I think so,
that
too.
way, especially with the Stranger Things
transition
cast.
into an adult actor.
Yeah, the Stranger Things cast maybe, but you never know until
They
10
get
years down
hooked
the
on
line.
drugs. And, yeah.
There's no telling.
Certain people have been able to pull it off. Drew Barrymore, but she had her share of.
Oh yeah, well, she
Problems.
was doing a lot of crack whenever she was doing like a lot of drugs like before she was
Yeah.
like an actress.
Yeah,
So
because
she was ready. She was ready for it.
She was hanging out in Hollywood.
Well, let me tell you
parties
guys
before.
something. Robert Downey Jr. is doing pretty good right now.
Yeah, he made a comeback. Jake Lloyd in the Phantom
Was he
Menace.
a kid
not
actor?
not a
Yeah,
good.
he was a child. He was
What was
he's
he?
like he's like a teenage actor.
Yeah.
Well, he grew up in Hollywood. His father was a famous guy. So
That's right. Yeah.
that's why he was so fucked up in his middle life.
What's
Eddie Furlong did not transition well. Macaulay Culkin did not transition very well into an adult actor.
he did not. A lot of them don't.
It's
Elijah,
hard. It's
Elijah
hard.
Wood
You get
did.
thrust into that life. It's weird.
Elijah Wood did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I mean,
Elijah
shit, that's a
Wood.
life that we couldn't handle as adults. Could you
Yeah.
imagine? Like,
Bro, that'd be a cool movie to do. As a horror movie is the Good Son.
yeah,
That movie
Yeah.
is legitimately terrifying.
it's fucked up. This kid looks a lot like what's the kid that was in a lot of he was in Sixth Sense. What's that guy's
Oh,
name?
Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah, he looks. They kind of have the same kind of
kind of
look.
like chubby cheeked,
Yeah, chubby cheek, bowl
Yeah.
cut.
Hasn't lost the baby fat yet.
I wonder if there was a connection there, or like maybe that's the look they were going for. I don't know. Haley Joel Osment was like a lot of earlier films too, though.
I think the kid looks like a My Buddy doll. He's creepy.
Scatman's really kind of like creepy. Like, why did they leave their son alone with this guy? And then he just immediately starts to tell him, "This fucking place is haunted, kid." Like,
Hey man, I don't know. I look at Scatman. I'd leave my kid with him if I had one. He looks like
one
he
thing
looks like
I
a fine man.
will. I said I was going to talk about King a lot in this, but we said how all of his universes are shared. He's done that. The one main thing is the Dark Tower series that kind of ties all of his books together. One of the child in the Dark Tower, his name's Jake. I can't remember his last name. I want to say Lloyd, but I'm probably wrong because
A month
it's Danny
later.
Lloyd is this actor. But he has the same power.
Oh yeah. Oh, he can shine.
The Shining,
Yeah.
yeah. And they mention it. There's even a part where a guy says they look alike. So yeah, there other characters in other films have the same ability as Danny does.
So where are we at in the movie? Like they're alone now.
They're alone, yeah. This is cut to it's just them now. Everybody's gone. And she is very much belongs in the kitchen. Here comes some of these great fucking shots. Man, this is that steady cam
Yeah, that is a steady cam.
6 inches off the ground, just running behind him. And this was even an accident to Kubrick. In the editing, this carpet, no carpet, no carpet.
that sound cutting out there?
He was like, oh my God, that's just genius.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that. It's so good.
Now we,
And
now,
this is
now we
this
can-
is another one of those things, like we kind of get a tour of the hotel while
Yeah.
we follow him. And that kind of explains some places, like the architecture doesn't make sense. And the lady that did the set designs even said later on, none of it makes sense, because it's like when I was talking about the impossible window and places like that. Like,
well, it's not supposed to make sense because if it did, then you would feel
Right.
comfortable. It makes
Right.
you feel uncomfortable. Like, what the
Well, 'cause
fuck
you
kind
can't
of
ever
building
get
is
you
this?
can't get a
Yeah.
sense of place where you're
Right.
at.
yeah, okay, he's over here, but
Yeah,
then
you can't build a
it looks
blueprint in your
like,
head, yeah.
and it's intentionally supposed to throw you off.
And it looks huge, but they're also the distances between everything and how long it takes them
Yeah.
to get there.
Morning,
Same thing with the hedge maze. They look so tall, but it's because of the camera angle. It was only like 8 feet, but it looks like 12 or 15 feet.
Have you guys ever seen?
It was like an 8.9 lens, I think they said they used.
So they're probably shooting this shot like this because he's in a different world than she is.
And that's a zoom.
And I always love how people can do mirror shots in films and not
See the camera?
not see the guy. Yeah,
The most famous one is
It's
The
a
Ring.
little
But
plain.
yeah,
Are we doing the ring in this series?
perhaps.
How about taking me for a walk after you finish your
Have you guys ever seen the early '90s satirical film Loaded Gun with Emilio Estevez and Sam Jackson?
I
That's
don't think
making
I've ever
fun.
seen that. Yeah.
It's like
National Lampoon.
it's a super meta movie because it's making fun of Lethal Weapon, like airplane style. Anyway, they do an homage to this movie. Little known fact: whenever you go, Emilio Estevez's character like lives on an airstream on the beach.
yeah.
And
like
yeah. So they show up and they open up the door, and when they go into his airstream, it's like
oh yeah,
it's like
this-
classic Greek architecture with columns and like a bathhouse, and like, hey, welcome to our place. And Sam Jackson's like,
there's
damn, this place is roomy.
there's a name for that where it's kind of like the
thought it was kind of scary.
Doctor Who's telephone booth. It's
Yeah,
you
yeah.
walk into it and it's just but there's a name for that where the inside is impossible because it's
Yeah, for
impossibly
sure.
large to the outside. You know,
I don't know. Maybe if one of our listeners could tell us exactly what that's called,
Yeah, there's a term for that.
we might give you something. I
Wait,
don't
what
know.
is it?
When Doctor Who has that he goes around in that blue telephone booth.
Yeah.
But when you walk into that little telephone booth, it's
like a
just this
room.
huge
Yeah.
it's spaceship with infinite amount of room, and there's a term for something that's impossibly large on the inside of something that's smaller on the outside.
Something that appears larger on the inside than it did on the outside.
Right.
So
He's
don't
smoking
spoil it for us,
Marlboro
Zach.
Reds.
I'm gonna look it up. I won't tell you.
Look
that.
it up. Don't spoil it for us because we need our listeners to tell us.
There's another thing that I'm gonna point out to y'all, and then I'll bring it back later.
I thought he was banging that tennis ball on that Native American art. I was about to be like, damn.
Oh,
Well,
He's
some of it
just-
does.
oh, he
It's
is.
kind of like he's fucking with the place.
That's bad juju, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna get fucked up, dog.
If you notice later, yeah, remember that tennis ball. Yeah, see this they used a wide angle lens on this. I think they said 8.9
That's on a shitty truck. I
to
would
make
say.
it well more so when we cut to them inside to make it look way taller than they actually are.
Oh yeah, that's a fisheye.
That's
almost.
a super, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a, yeah.
because those hedge mazes are only like 8 feet, I think they said, but it makes it they look gigantic there just
It's
because
not
of that.
It's not a fisheye, but it's a super wide,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
super-
Well, I
it's
said
a
it's almost
super-
almost.
yeah.
super wide lens.
super wide
yeah.
lens. Yeah. I'm a lens nerd. I'm sorry. Why would anyone cut this down, Tim?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess-
liability.
I mean, like
I guess, yeah,
The
problems-
maintenance would be.
The maintenance would be out of
It would be a huge deal. You'd have to.
the upkeep on it.
You'd have to
yeah.
hire like a whole lot of like lawn maintenance.
people-
I mean, you have to
probably-
give all your lawn guys maps. Like they get
Yeah,
lost
you get
half
lost
the
in
time.
there, and
like-
plus guests probably get lost and get scared and freak out, or guests start going in there and doing drugs because they're like, "Hey, let's just go get lost in the maze and do drugs." And I mean,
That
there's
sounds like
probably
a good
lot of-
time.
I mean,
lot of
a
liability
maze
issues.
at a hotel sounds like a big pain in the
Yeah.
ass.
That
So.
sounds like a really good time.
Okay, now watch this tennis ball when it comes back.
It bounced off down the hallway.
Yeah, I guess it went the other direction.
He's so angry, he just needs a drink.
Well, like they said, he's got writer's block. He's frustrated. He came here for the seclusion, hoping that
Right,
it would help
right.
him write.
So his alcohol, that's right, because King was like, he was also a heavy
I
alcoholic
still-
at the time, so it was kind of a reference to his alcoholism in a way, yeah.
I still wonder
so
how they did that shot. I think they said they were on a scaffolding, and then they filmed the interior where you see them like on a parking lot somewhere. But this came out in 1980, filmed in 79. I still don't know how they did this shot. It's crazy.
Out of most of the shots, that'd probably be the one that would be easiest to cut that strip out and do that.
It
Nah,
could have
that-
been a matte painting all around.
Yeah,
them.
that was, yeah. That didn't look that difficult, to be honest with you.
I'm just saying for the time. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, shit,
Yeah.
dude. 2001 Space Odyssey had Tuesday.
I love that.
I mean, it had really crazy shots, and that movie came out in the 60s.
68. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so-
insane. When we went up there to see that shot right there, like we were in the middle of the summer, and it took us so long to drive up there. It was still snow capped.
Yeah, yeah.
in the middle of July because you were so high up.
While on a hunting trip with her husband. They have good weather right now.
I'm finding it hard to believe that they have TV reception in the kitchen at a hotel in the mountains. I really don't. But.
Yeah, well,
the snowstorm hadn't hit them yet.
And broadcasts used to be much more powerful than they are now.
Yeah.
They used to be much, much more powerful.
Look at that intent.
Yeah, I know that's state of the art, brother.
Yeah, she definitely is portrayed as. Oh, okay. Well, I'll get back to her later.
Yeah, we can add a tag to our podcast now. ASMR.
Every time this carpet design right there. You'll see it again later.
Yeah, the Navajo.
This carpet right here.
Oh, that one, yeah.
In the Pixar children's film Toy Story, the bully that lives next door that tortures the toys and stuff.
What's his name's
Sid. They put
Sid.
Sid. They put this carpet in there. The makers of Toy Story are huge fans. They put this carpet in Sid's hallway leading to his room.
Well, I mean, Pixar's. I'm not saying they're on Kubrick level, but they're on the same level.
They are.
Supposedly, they say they do.
As far as animation goes,
they say they do nods to The Shining in a lot of their films, like in Toy Story 2, I believe it is, when they're at the pizza place or something like that. There's a security camera in a corner, or it might have even been Wall-E. There's a security camera, and if you blink, you miss it, but it says number 237 on the side.
Yeah,
of the side of the security
I remember
camera.
that one. Yeah.
I just think it's so crazy that Toy Story puts a bunch of Shining references into it.
Well, you have a kid, you watch cartoons, you know how they do.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob was rife with a bunch of adult jokes.
Yeah, full of adult.
All of them are.
All of them are.
Gotta put something in there for the adults.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. It's just gonna go right over a kid's
It's just
head.
a very famous carpet design. My older sister Paige actually bought a scarf online that has that pattern on it. And my bar key and apartment key.
Oh yeah, it sure does.
Has room 237.
He has an Overlook Hotel.
Overlook Hotel
keychain.
That's my prop for tonight's podcast.
Tell the story of that guy that came in to the bar the other night.
He bought last night. Yeah.
This guy came in. He was wearing a research outpost number 31 Antarctica shirt, which was the thing. So I bought the guy a drink.
No, I thought the funny thing was like you told him about the podcast that we did, and he was just like, nah.
Yeah, he was very indifferent to it.
Not you guys listen though.
Well, there's another thing. This typewriter that he uses is a very famous old German typewriter. And we go back to the number 42. 1942 was the year that the Nazis decided to start fucking exterminating the Jews.
Yeah.
That's another little reference.
To genocide?
To
genocide. There's a lot of genocide in this baby. Yeah.
To genocide.
Genocidal references.
Angry Indian burial ground, you know?
I love that sound when he pulls the paper because she just fucking broke his concentration.
Yes.
I'm just really relating to him in some relationships I've been in.
And you see, she's just so annoying. I'm sorry, like, I would want to fucking chop her up with an axe. This is something they don't put into the movie very much, but that book right there, all those newspaper clippings.
Yeah.
He's been spending a lot of his time going into the history of the hotel and learning about all this stuff that's happened and everything. Kubrick doesn't spell it out for you. He just puts that in a couple frames to make you go,
what is this?
God, he looks so crazy.
It's the thing.
I understand.
But the thing is, like, it's almost like Jack Nicholson he's separated.
He's trying to be.
Not even what he's intentionally doing, but how it's framed is that he is. Even with the shot in the room where he's sleeping, she comes in, like, they shoot him through the mirror.
Right.
They're like he is in a different world than Danny, and Danny's in a different world than Shelley Duvall.
She's oblivious. Yeah. She obviously, with his alcoholism, obviously he's probably beat her in the past and stuff. He's probably an abusive, drunk.
Whether you don't hear me typing, what the fuck you hear me doing in here, when I'm in here, that means that I am working.
But so he's just broken her down as a person. So she's this little submissive mouse, that's just like, okay. She's scared. She doesn't want to piss him off. So she's like, all right, I'll leave you alone.
Well, I mean, they did the
Now get the fuck out
She did the classic thing, like, I'll just bring in 2 sandwiches and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I'll make you a sandwich, Daddy.
Well, she definitely belongs in the kitchen, not the bedroom. Like, I'd be willing to bet they haven't had sex since Danny was born.
I really missed your misogyny, Tim. Then welcome back.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying that's me.
Well, it's just that's how she's set up as a character.
That's how. She's just this weak.
Well, no, I'm not
person.
even saying weak. She's just trying to make this work.
Yeah, she's still trying to make their marriage work,
Yeah.
and he just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
It's not even that he doesn't give a fuck. He's just in a completely different. Like I'm saying,
he's
like
there
he
to
is,
work.
He,
Yeah.
and
She's on
it's-
vacation.
Well,
He's
that's
there
what
to
that's
work.
what I'm saying is like he's in a different world. Like, and not even that he's intending to be separate from them or anything like that. He's existing and framed in this whole movie as like, they don't explain any of this. He's
There's
just
a
doing it.
separation.
You just come in and see that he's doing something. You're watching him just.
And she's just a diplomat,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She's
And the
placates. This is one of my favorite shots.
The
The whole
snowstorm
fucking
came
film.
in.
One of my favorite shots right there. I mean, that look on his face. This is where you're like, okay, yeah, this dude's fucking going crazy.
Yeah.
That's like the first shot. I mean, look at that. God, that's Jack Nicholson. And
Imagine having sex and looking up at that.
he's getting cabin fever.
He's got nice eyes.
He's very expressive eyebrows.
I mean, they naturally arch.
Yeah. He doesn't even really have to do much. Yeah.
He's so lucky that he's made a career off of looking kind of crazy.
Well, that's one reason why Stephen King was like, no, I don't want him to be in this movie because
Really?
he thought he was too much,
Over the
too
top?
much over the
Really?
top. Yeah.
Let me see what he's done before.
But
what
Warner
he did
Brothers wanted
before
him
this
because he was a
movie.
bankable star. So
Well, from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I guess. Yeah.
And Kubrick was like,
I mean, I would like
can
to do
get
that
it.
movie. I think that's a great.
I would love to do.
Nah,
Kubrick's
it's too
Nest.
depressing to me.
Nah,
The ending is very
The
depressing.
book's a lot
to me.
more depressing.
You guys want to know? I don't know if you guys know this, but it's a little bit of trivia. Do you know what he demanded in his trailer on the set of God? Why am I being so bubble brained tonight? The Departed. You know what he
What?
demanded?
What?
Cocaine and dildos.
Cocaine and dildos?
Cocaine and dildos. It's a real thing. Look it up. But on the set of The Departed, for him to get like in his character, which is like that weird, kooky old like mob guy who's pretty much bored with life and can get whatever he wants. He wanted cocaine and dildos, and
That doesn't surprise
he
me.
got it. He got it. Martin Scorsese got it for him. They sent out some like young production assistant to go get cocaine in Boston.
Some poor bastard.
Some
had
poor
to go
bastard.
buy a bunch of dildos and score
yeah.
some cocaine.
Well-
in Hollywood, I'm sure it's not hard to score cocaine.
No,
It's
it wasn't.
probably on every
That shit
movie
was in
set.
Boston.
Oh,
dude.
you'd be
That shit was filmed in Boston.
surprised
Yeah.
how common it is for certain creative types to ask for things like that, and
I wouldn't
even
be surprised
today,
at all.
and,
Yeah,
and, and get them.
They're gonna get it. Yeah. You can tell Jack Nicholson no.
I'm speaking broadly.
I don't think I would be surprised at all.
We'll
Honestly,
just say I've experienced something
Very
even
broad,
like within the last couple of weeks. Even.
I remember booking bands at Vortex back in the day, and some of them would almost be in their rider. When we get there be cocaine in the back.
Let's just say I was really surprised. So
we want cocaine and sugar-free Red Bulls.
I think I know exactly what you're talking
Okay,
about. Yeah, let's get off of that.
let's pass there.
I'm surprised too. All right, well I poured these, so
We'll do that.
Oh right,
It
shots.
was real nice talking to you.
Oh yeah.
Back on the clock.
you gestured me. You like shot it to me. So cheers.
Well, I
everyone.
realized we hadn't done another one since the first.
Plenty of time.
I mean, I know the decor is what it is because it was 1980, but even that creeps me out. Like the colors they use. There's a water fountain with an actual glass bottle, and here we come on the
Oh shit!
bam.
This is the famous
The
shot.
iconic scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he has the vision of them. Chopped up.
I want to pay attention to
These
this.
are
like,
Grady's twins that Ullman was telling him
I
about
wanna,
in the beginning.
I want to pay attention to this because, like, I want to make sure that every time that he sees something crazy, is there always an exit sign above there? Because there was in the kitchen, and it was pretty
the first
prominent.
time he saw him.
And there is in this hallway. So I want to we'll pay attention to that.
Exit, as in get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Is it
Yeah.
It looked like it was shaking.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Exit, leave.
Oh my
Jesus.
god!
And ever.
They got killed there, and they've never been able to leave.
It's scary.
Imagine for like an 8-year-old kid.
Man, look at that shot. Look at that twinkle in his eye and everything.
We've seen a few exteriors where it's heavy snow outside, so they've been there a couple months at this point.
Maybe a month.
No, it said 1 month later. I remember it said
I think they've been there a month, and because it's just giving us dates in the title cards.
The first bumper was a month later, and then the second bumper was Thursday. So we're at a month
days.
and a week.
I think I think they get longer as it goes on. At first, it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then it's like October, November.
2 days later.
I think it goes from days to months.
Wait, what's this little kooky kid doing? What's he doing right now?
He's been doing that since the beginning.
He's talking to his imaginary friend Tony, who's more than just a little imaginary, because Tony tells him things.
Oh shit!
It's kind of like a coping mechanism for all these weird visions he has.
Monday.
This movie that they're watching on the TV is called The Summer of 42. There's another 42 reference. And again, talking about impossible things.
Oh, geez,
that
Mom,
TV
I don't want
has no cord going to it.
Oh, yeah.
They're watching a TV that is not plugged in.
Great. Sit down.
It's another impossible thing in the film.
Yeah, they're really trying to make you uncomfortable. That's what the whole thing
Well, maybe
is.
even they're going a little crazy, too.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, it's not just Jack that's susceptible to
Help yourself.
all of this.
Well, I think the whole thing is shot to make you on edge. Visually, it's trying to make you uncomfortable.
Kubrick likes to use a lot of wide angles.
Right.
And
Not right
I
now.
mean, shit, could you imagine being in such a huge mansion?
terrifying.
Just 2 or 3 people.
Because I would have to go check out every single room to make sure there's nobody like hide. Because what if somebody stowed away?
Well, they're
like,
only.
hey, I'm gonna hide.
Yeah, well, their only
bed.
contact is with a radio to the outside world, and then if anything really crazy happens, like the roads are blocked by
Well,
snow.
they've got the snow cat.
Yeah, but still, like they're still like days away from anybody.
It's another
else.
movie. It's an isolation.
Isolation,
movie, like we always do.
You know, Zach almost moved into a haunted mansion with me one time.
Yeah,
we
I've heard
brought that up.
story.
Yeah, we did bring that up. That's right.
Heard about that.
All right.
But yeah, dude. I mean, seriously, like I'm kind of glad that I didn't live there because I would have been pretty fucking on edge. Like
It was fine, dude. It was cool.
The wardrobe lady did it her
I wish
best
she would have lived there because it probably would have stopped me from doing things.
to dress Danny to make it non-horror as much as possible. So he has Mickey Mouse.
Oh, yeah.
kicking a football.
His one major sweater.
It looks like he's wearing like 6 shirts underneath it, too.
Well, see,
it's cold.
she said, go wake up your dad. He's taking a nap. But look how terrified he is, like, to go wake up Dad.
Yeah.
Well, Dad
And
fucking
Dad's just
broke his arm months ago.
He's scared of his dad. Obviously, yeah. His dad's just fucking sitting
Well,
there.
Dad's creepy as fuck, so.
Yeah.
There's
Another
that mirror
shot.
again. Yeah.
Keep seeing him in that mirror.
Yeah, there's a lot of mirror motifs.
Oh, no, she didn't send him up there to get Jack. He came up here to get his fire engine toy. So he was scared that he was going to wake up his dad when he went in there to get his toy. That's bad parenting on Wendy's part. She should have been like, "I'll go get it. Your father might be sleeping."
Oh yeah.
Well, no, she's trying to heal this fractured family. I guess you know.
Yeah, he came there to work. She
She's
came here thinking it would be an opportunity for them to
She's a diplomat.
get their
marriage. Yeah.
get their marriage back on track. He's been clean and sober for a while.
That old school toilet in the background, where the tank is mounted to the wall. You know, it's a really nice toilet setup. Is Zach. Zach has a really nice toilet setup. He's got a squatty potty.
I think it's good enough that even Tim would use it.
I'm looking forward to the day. I'm gonna
so check this out. He's got a squatty potty. He also has a bidet. He's got like all this stuff. It's incredible. And then he has like 1-ply toilet paper, the worst toilet paper in the entire world.
Okay, so I bought
Treat
like
your butthole,
dude.
dude.
I buy in bulk. I try to buy in bulk, and I
We'll
bought
buy
in bulk.
4-ply in
No,
bulk.
this is the thing. It's like I bought in bulk. It was priced like the other ones, and I was kind of like, oh, this will be fine. I didn't even look at it. I was in a rush, and I'm like, I get it.
Your
and I'm like,
1-ply
I have to go
offends me.
through. I have
It
to
offends me, sir.
Look, trust me, I'm not happy about it either. But now I have 20 rolls of shitty paper because I fucked up. So stop ragging on me about it.
You're wiping your butthole with 1-ply, and your finger
finger
goes
will
through
go
the
through
paper.
it.
It goes straight up your butthole. Is that just me? That's
No,
not-
Well,
that's
I mean,
never
okay, so here's the
You're
flip.
like, God damn it.
Here's the flip side to it,
You
though.
gotta take it out, string it all along.
Here's the
and
flip
fold
side,
it,
Aaron.
fold it,
Aaron,
fold it.
the thing is, the 1-ply is actually better if you have a bidet, because with a bidet, you don't have to do all this wiping. You just dab. So you just get a nice bundle and you just dab it off,
Little
and it
dab
works
will
pretty
do you.
well. But it's not meant for wiping. It's meant for dabbing if you have a bidet.
Fuck that.
I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm just saying, fuck your toilet paper.
You gotta fluff that shit up.
I feel like
your
the
toilet
reason-
paper offends me, sir.
The reason Jack was just sitting there staring off, I think probably because the hotel was talking to him right before Danny walked in. That's why he'd seem so...
Oh, yeah, probably. Out of sorts.
Because he's asking Danny, do you like it here? He's like, I want you to like it here, because we're never fucking leaving.
Jesus Christ.
We could stay here forever.
Ever? Dad, you're creeping me out.
He's been crazy almost the entire movie, though.
It was always there, yeah.
Yeah.
You would never hurt Mommy or me, would you?
And see, he has that awareness from having The Shining. Like,
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You know, this kid looks like one of the kids in my jiu-jitsu kids class.
His hair
and it's
bothers the
freaking
shit
me
out
out.
of me.
It's freaking me out.
With the hair over his ears like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it drives me nuts. I always, when I watch this movie, wanted to take my finger and pull
Brush
his
over
hair
that.
behind his ear. How can that be comfortable?
No, that's the look back then, dude. The mop. It's the
Yeah.
mop. Yeah. Tim, have you ever grown your hair long ever in your entire life?
Oh, you didn't know me.
I mean, I know you had like
15 years ago.
I know you had like that scene look where it was like,
I had the
I
Eddie
think you've
haircut
had the
from
same
Terminator 2.
haircut
Right.
for like the
Yeah,
5
yeah.
or 6 years that
Yeah.
I've known.
no, he did have the Eddie Furlong, but that wasn't over your ears. I'm
Shit,
talking
even the
like-
photos from you
I'm
at the
talking long
Vortex,
everywhere.
you have the same haircut.
I had long hair for a little while, but then I cut it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
did
talking
I
long
did the faux hawk for
everywhere,
8
dog.
years, and now
That's right.
Now I got the part.
Wednesday. Oh, now they're starting to
The
get
snow's
snow,
even
yeah.
deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here. This shot is one of the ones I've been waiting for. Okay, Danny's playing, minding his own business. He's on that carpet. His circle is open, meaning he's vulnerable. The path, and there's Jack's tennis ball that he was bouncing around earlier.
Where's Jack at though?
That's a long hallway. Yeah, who rolled that
I
ball?
know
at him?
Jack. Come on, man, that's scary, dog.
Look at this. He slowly stands up. He has Apollo 11 on his fucking sweater as he slowly stands up to symbolize the
Yeah, he
Apollo
does.
11 rocket taking
he
off
does.
into the
Yeah,
air.
for
Come
sure.
on, tell me that. That's
Apollo 11, was that the one that went to the moon?
yeah. That's the one that he supposedly faked. I mean, come on. How can you not at least go? Oh, that's a strong possibility. I mean, he basically slapped you in the face with it right there.
Like you're. I know. I'm not saying that you're lying or anything. I know, but you're saying these things like they're facts, and I actually I agree.
It's a theory.
I agree how it's theorized, but it's still we don't.
Yeah, it's just a theory,
We
not
don't
fact.
fucking.
No,
Not
yeah,
fact.
it's not a.
It's
I'm
just a
not saying
theory.
it's fact.
Yeah.
I'm saying
But
if you
but
were
whenever
to subscribe to that belief,
but whenever
there's
you
lots of things.
Whenever
in
you
there.
keep in mind that Kubrick was very intentional
Tim,
with all his
there's your
shots,
keychain.
like,
237.
and that's Tim's keychain.
But if you notice, it's different. That's a rectangle, and mine's a
diamond.
Well, it's not movie authentic, but
Fucking noob. Fuck yourself, Tim.
This is something that was in the books that they don't do very much.
see, this
Keeping
goes
the boilers.
this goes against your whole thing saying she belongs in the kitchen. Look at her doing some work.
Yeah, she's the only one doing it. Yeah, she's checking on the boilers and everything to make sure the fucking hotel doesn't explode. That's a lot bigger part in the book than in this.
Oh yeah, because you got to keep everything up. Or
Yeah.
You got to keep it
In
all
the book,
in the right.
book,
the maintenance is the biggest thing.
well, I think Jack flips at the end of the book and goes down to intentionally blow up the hotel. He's like, I'm going to overload the boilers
That's right. Yeah.
and just blow up the hotel, and that doesn't play into this film.
Interesting.
This movie also deals a lot with dreams and dreamlike states. And Kubrick did this film because he was bored after he did Barry Lyndon before this, which
Never seen
I
that.
have to say, yeah, that's one of his films I never saw. But he was bored after that movie. His dream project always was to do a Napoleon film, and he wanted Jack Nicholson to play Napoleon.
No, for sure. I know all about that one. Yeah.
But he was bored after Barry Lyndon, and he wanted to do horror. He wanted to try this genre that he hadn't done before. But this film isn't really a horror film as much as just kind of like the breakdown of the modern family. You know,
Yeah.
one man's descent into madness.
Yeah, because the book was written like only a couple of years before.
Yeah,
like the book
3
had just
years,
come
yeah.
out.
Or 2 years before they started filming.
Yeah.
It's okay now.
That Napoleon film was going to be the most expensive movie ever made.
That was his dream project, and unfortunately it never. And then, of course, he was going to do AI, artificial intelligence. He passed away, and Spielberg finished it because they were good friends.
But I didn't just kill you.
They're actually
Which is like probably two great films that
2
we
years
unfortunately
ago,
never got to see.
2 years ago, someone actually released everything that had ever been made about the Napoleon film, and you can buy it. It's like,
He had done a lot of work. Yeah.
It's like $55. You can buy it. It's this box set, and it has like all of the film that he actually filmed. It has all the production notes, like in a book, all the sketches. It's like a big box, and you can actually buy it. It's very expensive though, but yeah. He kept pitching it around to all these studios, and everyone was like, nobody gives a fuck about Napoleon anymore. Right now, we're about Transformers and shit.
He'd just done Barry Lyndon, and as great as that film supposedly is,
it
didn't make a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't make very much money, so they weren't willing to.
Yeah, Barry who?
Yeah, they weren't really ready to take the gamble.
Do you think
on
there's an
Napoleon.
intention behind having the American flags in some of these?
Absolutely.
It was on the guy's
It was
desk.
on his desk. Yeah.
Like, you think it like symbolizes like whenever they're doing work or something?
Well,
like
that comes back to just us massacring the Native Americans and then just replacing all of their stuff with ours.
Well, it's like all their stuff is what we walk on.
Yeah.
And everything else is above.
There's a lot of Native American
clean,
rugs,
safe.
but damn, he got fucked up.
He's basically catatonic right now, in shock.
This kid got some.
Was that whenever
demon
he went
hickeys.
into 237? We didn't see what happened to
The
him.
room was open with the key in the
Yeah.
door, and he walked into it. I love this shot of Jack too, where he's just confused.
But I mean, he couldn't have done that to him.
He
though.
couldn't have.
No, he was. He
Was
was
she-
he was
she-
there.
yeah.
We're the only people there. Who else did it? you know?
Especially with what happened before.
Yeah, she's assuming he did it again. Yeah, you did it again. You hurt our son.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
'Cause who else? That.
Well,
Like,
that's
he's just like,
he's actually confused because
he's like, I didn't fucking do it.
How could you? How could you?
and that is probably what drives him even further in the madness is that I didn't do a fucking thing.
Yeah, you goddamn bitch.
I was having a
Yeah.
nightmare.
I was asleep, bitch. That's the first example.
I'm in my workroom.
Here
Yeah.
comes. Oh man, we're coming up to.
Let's get it's.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you said, he's just pacing around. He's pissed off. Like, fucking.
Oh, is this
That's our first example of the ghosts actually physically manifesting themselves.
Yes.
And
And yeah, demon hickeys.
physically affecting one of our
That's what it was. Demon
our
hickeys.
characters. Well, it looked like strangles.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, the bruises of somebody putting their hand around.
I'm gonna
his
call
throat.
it demon hickeys because I'm a freak like that.
Demon hickeys.
The gold room.
This, oh my god, this scene. This is one of my
The
favorite,
ballroom.
one of my favorite scenes in a film ever. I gotta give a shout out to my good friend Josh Lewis, who quotes this scene with me probably every time we see each
Oh
other.
yeah. Shout out to Josh Lewis. You know what's funny is how iconic this movie is in general, and how many times people pay homage to it is overwhelming because there was a summer blockbuster that came out 2016 called it had Chris Pratt and it had that girl, what was that called? Passengers, and the bar was almost like it was like a recreation.
You're fucking
yeah.
good. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It
I
had-
remember the bartender's even dressed.
He's dressed just like
Lloyd.
it.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bartender in that in Passengers was a robot, and he had the same exact thing on. They had an underlit bar. Everything
It
was the exact
definitely-
same. Yeah.
Okay, now right here.
Yeah. For such a paint by the numbers kind of
He's-
crappy book or movie, but yeah.
Hi, Lloyd.
Okay, he just said
A little slow tonight, isn't it?
before while we were talking, Jack's sitting there rubbing his face. That's pure Jack Nicholson right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jack
yeah.
Nicholson sitting there rubbing his face. He goes, "I'd give my goddamn soul for just a glass of beer."
What'll it be?
As soon as he says that, Lloyd appears in front of him.
Yeah, so we're talking
This-
about talking
this-
about the devil here,
This
dog.
is this is the scene where and 210s right here in my wallet.
I
thought they were gonna be there till next April.
Next April. So here's what. You slip me a bottle of bourbon, a little
I
glass.
gotta do a shot with my boy Jack here.
You can do that, can't you?
Do one with me if you want.
You're not too busy.
I'll do a little half shot with you.
No, sir.
No, sir, I'm not busy at all.
Of course you're not. The devil.
You set him up and I'll knock him back.
I'll knock them back one by one. Bottle of Jack Daniels, Jack Torrance, Jack Nicholson, Jack Daniels.
Well,
White man's burden, Lloyd. Okay, so he says the line, "I'd give my goddamn soul for just a glass of beer."
Temporarily light.
Because of his alcohol, and all that. He just needs a fucking drink right now. And he said, so he offers up his soul for a drink. As soon as he makes that offer, like, he had to do this of his own free will.
Yeah.
They could be messing with him and all that up until this point, making him go crazy, pushing him.
Damn bartender from
Timbuktu to Portland, Maine. Or Portland, Oregon, for that matter. That's the line me and Josh always quote to each other. So he offers up his soul for a drink. Miserable months on the wagon.
All right, we're going to cheers with old Jack.
all the irreparable harm that it's caused me.
Knocking back with Jack.
Look how much he enjoys that. So he,
Well, it costs his soul, so he better fucking enjoy
so he
it.
offers up his soul. He says, "I give my goddamn soul for just a glass of beer."
That's a meme. That shot right there, the eyes crossed, like enjoying it. That's a
what I'm
goddamn
saying.
meme.
That line he says, "I'd give up my goddamn soul for just a glass of beer right now." As soon as he says that line, Lloyd appears. As soon as he takes the drink, that's like signing the dotted line.
Yep.
He offered up his soul. They gave him the drink. He drank the drink. Now he's theirs. He just signed
He's the hotel, so now the spirits have full control
Now
over him.
they've got him.
This is whenever he starts.
He just willingly gave
Well, because
himself
before
up.
he's been isolated, he's been vulnerable, I guess you could say, in this state.
Well, that's what we were saying. Like,
And
the
then
hotel
now
can
that
push
he's-
him and
yeah.
do little small things.
Because they're
But
pushing.
he
They're
needed
pushing
to do it of his own free will.
because they're not doing.
He had to make that choice.
They're not
himself.
doing anything to the mom,
Right?
Because the mom's just in the middle, and
He's
then
the one they want.
Danny's the good child, and whatever spirits are there that are good are trying to tell him, hey. Get the fuck out of here! But the spirit, it's almost if they build over
There's
an Indian
good
burial
spirits and
ground,
bad
there's good spirits and bad
spirits. Yeah,
spirits. So maybe that's kind of what's going on. It's
That's
like-
why this scene is so important. And this is where he goes, "I never laid a hand on him. God damn it!" This is where he tells the story of the first time he hurt Danny.
I did not hit her. I did
I
not.
wouldn't harm one hair.
Well, no, maybe he's talking about she's getting mad. No, because they don't bring that up that he did anything. That's
No,
not
he's-
in this.
he's telling
talking
it right
about
now.
what just happened.
No. Listen. He talks about because Danny spilled it, threw his papers all over the floor, and he snatched them up. It was a momentary loss of muscular coordination. But he says, "But that bitch, as long as I live, she'll never let me live it down."
Never let me forget what happened.
Yeah, that's why she got mad. That's
Was
why he's
egged on
pissed.
by that moment.
Yeah, that's why he's pissed. Is that he's such a great job. He's looking around. I did hurt him once, okay?
Accident.
Could have happened to anybody.
Completely unintentional.
Yes, we all say.
Anybody.
Talking like a true addict.
3
Goddamn years ago.
The little fucker had thrown all my papers all over the floor. All I tried to do was pull them up.
I love this. Where did the snap? The momentary loss of muscular
coordination.
extra foot-pounds of energy.
Tim, I'm just going to be honest with you. I cut all of that out whenever I edit this.
When I'm quoting. The other tie to
What the fuck is she doing?
The other tie. Well, she's discovered some new information.
Why does she have a baseball bat?
The other tie.
Yeah, I went to the bathroom. I don't know what's going on.
The other tie to Blade Runner is the bartender Joe Turkel.
Yeah.
He is Mr. Tyrell in Blade Runner. He's,
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
Tyrell.
I knew he looked familiar. No shit.
He's Tyrell. I love this line.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
What'd she find?
There's
So
a
there's
crazy
somebody
woman
else,
in one of
yeah.
the rooms.
Oh, this. Did I miss the scene with the bathtub?
No.
Okay.
He's about to go investigate that. Yeah.
She tried to strangle him.
Yeah, see.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't do it. Told you I didn't do it.
So yeah, he should be like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, bitch, why are you fucking accusing me?
Well, no, he's done now. He's gone.
Well, yeah, he's totally gone now. It don't matter now. He just made his deal with the devil.
How the hell are you getting Channel 10 in Miami?
Well,
Oh, shit,
we're not
man.
we're not.
Good evening, I'm Glenn Rinker, Newswatch 10.
Miami, that's the furthest place you can go.
Wash your feet.
Ugh.
He's on vacation.
Yeah, that's some gross ass looking feet.
Boobs.
Oh, finally.
Some Angela Davis. Afro.
Damn,
That's a hell of an afro.
Hell yeah, dog.
Of course, it's Scatman.
Scatman, you need to take care of your feet.
Oh, because he's in Miami.
Yeah, he's on vacation.
That's right. Yeah,
word.
okay.
Yeah. Scatman, you need to take care of your feet, dog. That shit look gross.
I think he's dead now, Aaron. So.
Hey, shout out to Scatman.
He's in Miami,
Fucking
but he's
ladies,
watching
man,
Colorado
damn.
news, apparently.
No,
I love how they put
that was
those
Miami
pictures in
news.
here. Like that's
Well, they're
so
talking.
good.
No, you just said officials in Colorado. They're talking about people just died from freezing wind and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah,
how's he
yeah.
getting Colorado news?
No,
stations
it's
in-
Miami.
It's a
It said-
Miami
it
news
said
station.
Channel 10
They're just-
Miami.
It's
They're just-
filler.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
filler.
Yeah.
People in Colorado
And
this week are
well,
hammy.
as soon as they brought that up, they got him thinking about those people. So now he's probably honing in.
Well, because he can shine too. He has the gift as well.
Yeah.
This heartbeat. So this is to symbolize that he's seeing what's happening in the hotel right now. I love that. Oh, just Kubrick can take something you've heard a million times before, like a heartbeat, and make it fucking scary as shit.
Well, this movie relies a lot on the audio.
Just these long shots, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now you're like, why is he freaking out? What's going on?
There aren't any jump scares in Kubrick films.
There's
like
one
it's,
jump scare later
Yeah,
on.
but there's. Oh,
Damn.
Jesus.
That's so creepy right there. Because he's shining too. He's showing Scatman.
He's like being a conduit.
They're
Yeah.
shining together. He's
Yeah.
sending basically a distress call to Scatman, going, "Hey, shit's fucked up. I need help." He's sending telepathically sending him a vision of what's going on right now.
And this room is
The
crazy, dude.
The television show Hannibal, if any of y'all watched it, duplicated this room, even the carpet, and the angle of the bathroom. When he walks into the bathroom right now, again, Kubrick loves those wide lens shots. And it's definitely an homage to this shot. If you watch that show, it's actually a really good show. I recommend it.
This room baller as fuck, dude.
It's psychedelic.
It's got to be, the 70s. This is the pimp suite.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Except for that green, though, man. That
Wouldn't-
green
wouldn't
is
know
in a
green's
lot of
everywhere.
old school.
The
green,
laundry
green.
machines were green earlier. That was definitely a very popular color back then.
Green,
Oh,
green, get the money, dollar bill, y'all.
That green toilet with no tank, damn.
Yeah, where's that tank at?
Ain't got no tank,
Is
boy.
that a bidet? They do a lot of hints too to
The bidet's actually on that side. It's a toilet.
Oh, that
and
is a bidet.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's a bidet.
Yeah.
That's a toilet and a bidet.
Yeah.
Oh
Dealer's
no,
choice.
no, we're doing this scene.
This was always awkward watching this with my dad. They did some hints earlier, like when they're doing the tour and Ullman's saying goodbye to some girls that are leaving and stuff. Jack always does like a second glance at them, sexual interest. Like he's obviously cheated on his wife too. He's not attracted to her anymore.
I'm not attracted to her either.
I was never attracted to her. That must have just been like he got drunk and knocked her up and.
I wonder if there's any correlation putting the Nubian women on the wall with the nudity and then
She's got
putting
some-
it. This is the scene that comes right after it.
Hella long legs. See, he's
We
already,
got
like,
that 70s bush going on
that
too,
leer-
dog.
Yeah, well,
It's that
man, I
70s bush,
missed
bro.
That. That's a lost.
I mean, that's not much
That's
of a
that's
bush.
an A to Z exclusive. Tim likes bush.
I like bush.
I think this is probably the first bush we've had on here, other than maybe Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh.
See, now, Wendy-
JVC, his bush.
Wendy, Wendy told him to go investigate this room because somebody was in there that hurt their son.
Yeah.
He sees a naked woman and immediately was like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna fuck this bitch." Like he doesn't even care, because that's how they can tempt him. He's weak. I wonder if could you look up and figure out what that
Who that
actress's
is?
name
Yeah,
is?
yeah, I'm gonna look at her up.
I'm sure
There's
was probably a model or
she
something.
has a name.
They call her the Crone, I think.
No, it's not the Crown. In the book, young woman in Beth, Leah Beldam. Let me look her up.
Yeah, in the book, there's more. You get a little bit of.
She
the
actually
backstory of
she has a
why
name,
she's
and then
there.
there's actually a sequel to The Shining.
Yeah, Dr. Sleep. I've got the book. I haven't
Yeah,
read it
yeah,
yet.
and she has a name, and I forget what they call her though.
Yeah, King did a sequel to this in book called Dr. Sleep that just came out 3 or 4 years ago.
She's Swiss. And
That
that
makes
was
sense.
that was the
Those
only
long
movie.
legs.
That's the only movie she was ever in. So.
This is what fucking freaked me out as a kid when he looks in the mirror. Another mirror thing. Things aren't what they seem. In reality, he sees what's real in the mirror.
Oh!
God, that's so fucking creepy.
Oh!
Her laugh haunted my dreams as a kid. Look at that.
Oh!
Oh, God. Look at that.
Oh! God
Them
damn it.
saggy titties. Yeah. That fucking haunted my dreams, man, as a kid.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, like this was the part that really started to really scare me.
And you can kind of tell that's a suit around her, but still.
Her name is Mrs. Massey.
What about the actress's name?
Well, I already
so
told
scary.
you, Leah Belden. But the actual character in the book
Yeah.
is called Mrs. Massey. Like, there's actually a story.
So scary.
She was an older woman who came to the Overlook to have an affair with a younger fellow. But she comes in the second. She's in the second book, the sequel to it.
Really?
I read about that today. Actually, it popped up randomly on Facebook. It was
Yeah,
weird.
I knew there was more to like her backstory, why she was there. But yeah, that I seem to remember that she was a whore. Basically.
Well, she was another victim, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was a whore and drowned in the bathtub, or a cheating spouse.
Well, she was. She was
she was a
having
cheating
an affair.
spouse,
Yeah.
So it was like 1408, like a sequel to this movie, because I'm seeing so many familiar themes. It's kind of ridiculous.
Well,
it wasn't a sequel
King,
per se.
You know? I
but
mean, he
it
always
was-
he plays on the same kind of themes.
Yeah, similar themes.
It seems way too.
That's
similar.
a movie I need to go back and rewatch.
Way too similar. Well, it was a writer who like was in that haunted hotel room for that one night and had an older black guy. The whole thing, everything.
That was Sam Jackson, and wasn't that the character?
1408.
I can't remember.
No, it was.
It was John Cusack, but you're talking about the black character.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was Sam Jackson. That's like the caretaker, or
Right, the caretaker. Yeah. Yeah, the
I
one.
didn't see one.
He
goddamn
was
thing,
the
so he
harbinger. Yeah.
Just lied to. Yeah, the harbinger. Yeah, there you go.
You went into the room Danny said? To 237?
Yes, I did.
Why are you not telling him, Jack?
Anything at all?
Absolutely nothing.
Because he wants to keep the hotel's secrets. Like he said, he's done for it.
Oh, yeah.
There's no coming back for Jack. Basically, all he wants to do right now is shut her up and get back down to the bar.
Yeah.
He wants to go see Lloyd again.
Well, are you sure it was the right room? I mean, maybe Danny made a mistake.
Must have gone in that room. The door was open, the lights were on.
There was a key in the door.
Oh, he didn't tell her anything about the crazy shit he just saw.
No, he totally lied. She was like, "Did you see it? Did you see anything?"
He almost cheated on her. I mean, come on.
Almost, but didn't. Only not for like lack of wanting. Only because she was a
Her skin started
super
coming
old
off
person with bed sores for days and rotting skin. Yeah.
Yeah, she'd been in that water. This is where Jack does something horrible. I think he did it to himself.
Yeah, that's kind of insidious, isn't it? A little bit.
Not possible.
Wendy, once you rule out his version of what happened, there is no other explanation. Is there?
Because he's like, you believe that I didn't do it, so what other answer is there? Ghosts?
Yeah. Are you trying to say there's like something supernatural going on here? That's crazy.
See, and Danny's
Poor
listening.
fucking kid.
Danny hears what his dad's saying. So Danny knows now.
Yeah.
Danny knows that his dad's
He got
lost. Yeah.
red rum.
Oh,
There's the
shit.
first solution of red rum.
Because, yeah, he's like, shit, I know my dad saw that bitch in there, and he's lying to my mom.
Red rum.
Get him out of here?
And this angers Jack.
Get him out of here.
You mean just leave the hotel?
I mean,
That's not an option for
he's not
Jack.
really Jack anymore. He's
No.
he's been taken over.
Yeah. When he took that drink at the bar, he was gone. That's insulting to him.
So fucking
Typical.
for you to create a problem like this when I finally have a chance to accomplish something, when I am really into my work. I
could really write my own ticket if I went
This
back
is
to
Kubrick
Boulder
talking
now,
to his
couldn't I?
wife about the moon
Yeah,
landing.
yeah.
Driveways, work in a car wash. Would that appeal to you?
Yeah, I bet you'd fucking love that, Wendy.
I have let you fuck up my life so far, but I am not gonna let you fuck this up.
I mean, this really is. I mean, there. Even though he
Fuck up his life by getting knocked up, and
Well,
yeah.
he never wanted a kid, and
Right.
Well, even Kubrick changed. I mean, a lot of the meaning behind The Shining, the book, was a tie-in to alcoholism, addiction, things like that. So, like, but that's still
something
in
that
there.
he personally was going through.
But this is still representative of that. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, addicts usually they'll call the people that are trying to just figure things out.
Deflect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, deflect, but also, you know, say that they're, you know, being ridiculous, all that gaslighting
Those
shit.
plants need to go outside.
Yeah, gaslighting, deflecting. Yeah.
It has to be pretty cold in here. They can't just keep all the gas going all
Those
week.
plants need to go outside. That's all I'm saying.
Are those outdoor plants here?
Yeah, those were outdoor plants. Yeah. You know, one thing that we
This now that he has given himself over, and we know that since these last two scenes, the hotel is getting stronger. Basically, the spirits are getting stronger because they've got him, so they can manifest things like this.
Yeah. What were you saying here?
I was saying one thing we should really point out is that in this project that we're doing, which is the 13 Nights of Halloween, thank you guys for listening. We really tried to balance everything in terms of genres, in terms of like different types of horrors, and iconography and everything. And we really, I think we picked this movie not only because of its iconic stature,
it's not really a Halloween movie.
It's not, but it is horror, but it's kind of a psychological sort of really chill, like thriller, and it's a standout among all the other movies we pick. So the other movies we
for
pick
sure.
are definitely like Halloween movies, right? So we've already, at the time we're recording this, we've already recorded Night of the Living Dead, right?
Yeah.
And we've already recorded Halloween.
Yeah.
So we've done a slasher and a zombie film, kind of like paint by the numbers. I'm not saying that they're not good films on their own rights, but
But this is actual.
this is like
this is a psychological.
pretty
but this
serious
is something
film.
this is something
breakdown.
different. This isn't just a Halloween.
I wouldn't even call this a horror film.
This is not even it's not a horror movie. Like, it is a horror movie, obviously, but it's not just a horror movie. The brilliance of this movie is everything. The brilliance of it is a psychological thriller more than anything else.
It's one man's descent into madness.
Right. It has a
the breakdown of the modern
yeah.
family.
Yeah, absolutely,
There's
yeah.
so many layers.
So at the end of the day, you could like call this a movie that's about a paranormal phenomenon or a haunting. You could say the Overlook Hotel is haunted, and they're taking like this family in and tearing them apart. But also at the end of the day, you could just say, fucking, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
And this is all about him being crazy.
Yeah.
It's very open-ended, and it's very, very different
You can
from
take what
all
you
the other
want
movies.
from it, yeah.
You really can. Yeah. Because who's to say?
That'll do.
Do you know if this hotel is actually haunted, or do you know if he's
Is it
just
haunted,
fucking crazy?
Or is it alive?
Right.
Or is this all just in his head?
It
Yeah.
could be either way, and that's the difference.
I think it's
about
a little
it, yeah.
column A, little column B.
It is.
I wonder.
These people are all there because there was a fire at one point years
And
ago.
they all died?
And a lot of people died in a fire. And they had
Goddamn.
to do some reconstruction. No good here. Your money's no good here.
I just wonder. I
I'm
wonder.
the kind of man that likes to know who's buying.
It's. I would like to think. So the whole isolation theme comes into like a lot of the things that we've done, especially with the more suspenseful sci-fi or any of the movies like that. And it's just
Seems a very, very common theme.
well, it's like I that's what I was kind of thinking about is like, you know, because we all like different kinds of things in films, you know,
absolutely,
and
yeah.
it's like, so I would like to think that we don't have a bias toward that type of movie.
I didn't even think about that until we started talking.
But maybe we do. Like, I wonder what it is about these isolation themes that maybe not people as a whole, but us. Why do we connect to them?
Well, we all
because
feel-
I
we all
think
feel
it's because
isolated.
it helps to put your characters in a place like that where you can get psychological. You can break down what makes people do the things they do.
Yeah, but what I was mostly saying is like, why do you think that we like that? Why do us, me, you, and Aaron, like, why do we? Why do we like these
You can
movies so
tell by
much?
their
Like,
wardrobes
there has to be a
and stuff, too,
connection.
that this is probably like the 1920s.
If they're flappers, they're all wearing
yeah,
flapper
exactly,
dresses.
flapper
They're
dresses
wearing
and
flapper
stuff.
dresses.
Yeah.
And he was carrying an egg drink, which is
Yeah.
very 20s, yeah.
Fishy soiree, I think he says.
I think the best thing is to come along to the gentleman's room, sir, and we'll get some water to it, sir.
But, Zach, to answer your question, I think that...
That's going to take some thinking for me. I don't know.
I honestly think I think it's a very deep yet shallow thing that I can answer. It's like we're all isolated. From the moment that we're born, we're all alone.
We all die alone.
Well, we
there's no
live
one,
our own movie, basically.
Like, there's no one else that's ever going to be in your head besides you. It doesn't matter if you get married. It doesn't matter if you join the Masons or if you are in a club or a motorcycle club or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, you're completely and utterly alone with yourself, in your own head, with your thoughts. You're born alone, you're going to die alone. And I think it's like the human condition to be afraid of it. Like, everyone is so afraid of being alone because we're such social creatures that it's very easy to, like, make a movie.
Well, yeah, that's
isolation.
why a lot of people become alcoholics or die. It's easier to lose yourself in drugs and alcohol than deal with life.
Right.
Because when at the end of the day, like you said, when you're alone with your thoughts, that can be fucking scary.
And you want to numb it.
But there's also a thing
to think
is,
about those things.
I mean, not even today, probably more so, but even whenever these movies were being made, 60s, 70s, is like, it's a time where we are more connected as a species than we've ever been, but we're also still alone.
I think we're more alone now than we were then, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. But even then, I mean, whenever these movies were made and talking about those feelings, like even then it was the same way, but probably even more so now.
For sure.
He just said, my name's Mr. Grady. Grady is the caretaker that killed his twins.
That is Mr. Grady,
blew his brains out. So that's why Jack's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's asking him questions.
Yeah, he's like, I've heard the story about you. I've got a wife and 2 daughters. And he realizes that this is the guy.
So wait, he told him a story about something that happened back in the 20s? Like,
Ullman, I don't think he said when it happened. He said years ago, I think.
Yeah, but why would he tell him a story about something that happened 50 years ago?
To warn him, basically, to say, hey, listen, before we leave you here up alone, you should know that there was something that happened years ago.
It's a lot of things that happened, obviously.
You were the caretaker here. And I was like, man, all those people out there, why is there nobody else in the bathroom? Because ghosts don't need to pee.
Yeah, definitely.
Ghosts don't pee and poop. That's why there's nobody else in this bathroom.
I mean, if you were a ghost,
very Kubrick set design, all that
for sure.
red.
Well, the color palette, but he just
it's like a White Stripes video.
He just harkened back to something you were talking about. You were talking about those news clippings that were on that in that scrapbook.
He's done his,
and that's what he's doing. He said, "I
research.
recognize you. I saw pictures of you in the newspaper."
Yeah,
like all
not
of
just
that,
what Ullman told him. He went and delved into it.
Right.
I don't have any recollection of that at all.
It is very Kubrickian. This set.
Yeah. Look at those urinals that go all the way to the floor.
Dude, those are the best urinals. Have you ever peed in one of those? It's liberating.
I didn't know that was.
You can just like let it fly, dog. You don't have to aim. It is fucking badass. I love those old school urinals. You just sit there.
Let it
you just
fly.
You just put your hands on the wall like this. Get a good stretch. You ain't gotta hold your pee pee.
I wonder why they don't make
just let it
urinals
do
like
it.
that anymore.
They're too expensive, I guess. I don't know. We need to get some urinals like that in Thirsties because people piss on the floor all the time.
Or in the trash can right next to the urinal.
Right.
There's
so
piss all over that fucking trash can.
I think
it's fucking animals.
I think if we got a like floor to ceiling urinal like that one, nobody would miss. I think we need to do it.
Takes out a lot of the legwork.
Hey, yeah, I think so.
But then
Let's
you
do
pee
it.
on your shoes.
Can we pitch that? Can we pitch that idea?
Yeah. We just got a new.
We got a new
commode.
toilet.
We got a new toilet. Yeah.
So
I asked you about that.
Yeah, we got a new toilet, so Mike could get a new urinal, and maybe it could be floor to ceiling. Maybe that'd be dope.
See, he denied who he was, but now he's
He
saying,
said, he's telling him about Scatman.
yeah, he's saying your son is attempting to bring somebody in here and fuck up our plans.
He is Mr. Torrance. A nigger.
Dun dun dun.
Wow. I don't remember that being in this at all.
A nigger?
God damn you, racist Jack
He
Nicholson.
says,
Cook.
like, why is that?
damn.
Why was either one of those pertinent?
I don't know.
Well, because
I think he's telling Jack, hey, you
he's
know who
telling Scatman.
Yeah, you know who it is. Yeah.
Your son has a very great talent.
Oh, because
Well,
he's
now
shining.
I
Yeah.
just wonder is like maybe the hotel wasn't haunted until that fire that killed everybody, and now
another massacre, genocide, another mass.
It's the ghost of American exceptionalism.
Yeah.
And overdoing everything.
No, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Well,
we came in, we massacred the Native Americans, and we set up things and called them Indians, and to this day we still call them.
Well, it's like,
Indians.
well, I say because if it was like an Indian like spirit that was making it evil, then you would be seeing seeing Indian things, but you're seeing the people from this time period, the 20s.
I think
and that's
I think the burial ground is just that's the gateway. That's
like
what,
maybe it passed off to this guy and his family.
Them alive. That's why when people die there, they stay there.
Perhaps
because maybe the graveyard is kind of just a gateway to.
It's like a portal to hell.
Or Overlook. You could say Overlook is limbo, basically. You know, if you die there, you're stuck there.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't think so. I kind of see the themes.
And again, in the book, that wasn't in the book. The Indian burial ground and all that stuff, that wasn't.
Really?
That's Kubrick. That's Kubrick.
That was all Kubrick.
Well, because the book was mostly about him just going crazy, right?
Yeah.
And just this family haunting.
Yeah, it was more mystical. There was a lot more of. Yeah.
Oh,
he's saying why he killed his wife and children is
because they tried to burn it down.
They figured out the place was haunted. They tried to burn the hotel down.
With probably the boiler room.
Yeah, so he murdered them because they tried to burn the hotel down.
I correct her, meaning I murdered her.
Yeah.
Giving him ideas like, oh, if they do anything against this hotel, you should probably just fucking kill them.
Yeah, remember your wife earlier suggested leaving.
My air quotes, correct them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they casted anybody other than Jack Nicholson to do this? Like,
yeah, who? With fucking Gene Hackman.
Do you think this movie will ever get the remake treatment?
They did a TV series in the late '90s.
Yeah.
With the dude from Wings.
Wasn't it called like The Overlook?
No, it was The Shining.
It was The Shining.
I actually have it. Rebecca De Mornay played. But that was something we were talking about child actors, and this kid's good. The kid that plays Danny in that movie is fucking awful.
Phenomenal.
No, he's awful.
Oh, awful?
In the TV miniseries, and it wasn't a remake so
shit.
much as King, because King hated this so much. He wanted to see an
got them
adaptation.
to do that.
Yeah, he wanted to see an adaptation that was more true to his book.
And it was terrible.
And the TV miniseries is far more accurate to the book.
Sure.
Yeah, with the making closely monitored by King to ensure it had followed the novel's narrative.
Because he very famously hated this film. Yeah, because Kubrick, when he decided to do this, he bought the rights to basically just do whatever the fuck he wanted to.
Look how creepy this shit is.
Yeah, he bought the rights to just, hey, I can change anything I want. Fuck you, King.
This is when it gets real creepy when he starts talking.
It's not the finger anymore.
Yeah.
Tony's.
It's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's channeling him.
Yeah.
Well, because Danny is checked out at this point. He's gone so fucking.
Yeah, he's almost catatonic. He sent a telepathic message to Scatman.
Oh yeah, that's why he's saying Miss Torrance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's so nice and
disconnected.
Proper. Yeah.
Because it's not him. He's not saying mom.
God, this poor woman.
Yeah, she was losing her hair and stuff on set.
Yeah. She was so stressed out.
Oh well, we're approaching those.
She was like,
where,
if you see behind the scenes things of her like complaining and stuff, going, Stanley, like, look, like my hair. This is how stressed out I am. My hair's falling out. And he was like, shut up, Shelley.
Well, there's
somebody was like trying to bring her like coffee or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't fucking.
Well, no, there's a lot of stories where like he told even the cast to isolate.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the cast and the crew, like he did everything he could to isolate her because that's what her character is going through.
Vivian Kubrick.
Her kid's not there.
Yeah,
her husband is going insane.
She doesn't understand that. I mean, as the actress, Shelley Duvall didn't understand that. But he was getting a performance out of her.
Uh-huh.
Peter Jackson said it in one of his films, pain is temporary, film is forever.
Yeah.
You may hate me right now, but I'm going to get that fucking performance out of you. And hopefully, when it's all said and done, you'll be proud.
Who was it that said that?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson, yeah. Was that on the set of The Frighteners?
No, it was Lord of the Rings. It was Return of the King when...
Is that when Aragorn broke his foot?
Eowyn's trying to fight the the main ring wraith. He basically pulled a Kubrick.
Oh, Shelley Duvall's from Houston, Texas.
She
shout out.
She has famously gone crazy, by the way. If you look her up right now, she is a huge conspiracy theorist. She believes that aliens have visited her.
Oh, yeah.
She believes that they're going to come back for her one day and take her off this planet.
And it can all be traced back to this film.
Yeah, he might have
most likely.
Down.
She did a couple of things after The Shining. She did just some small whatever, but she did a children's show.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
But that was pretty much the last thing she did before she started going kind of nuts.
Yeah, she is like her and Randy Quaid are famously batshit insane. This is the third time we've watched him on the phone walk over here, and he always sits that. I've never noticed that before. He always walks over here while he's talking and sits that down and then hangs up. That's like the third time. I'm starting to think that they were reusing the same shot. That heartbeat.
So we're approaching the last
coming
act.
up to the final act.
I think this film really set a lot of precedence with audio, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it set precedence, but the audio is very strong.
Yeah. It's setting a precedent, I think, is the wrong term, but
well,
I know what you're saying.
No, I mean, it's very audio driven.
What I'm saying is, like, it's
almost another character in the film.
What it is, but I mean, that's any good film. The audio, me and Zach know this, like,
audio
going
will
way
make
back.
or break a film.
Audio is much more important than video, actually.
Yeah,
absolutely.
In terms of our psychology and our brain, the audio is much more important.
The score and the audio absolutely will make or break a film.
But the visuals aren't really as I don't know. What am I trying to say? They're not.
You can say a lot. Just
they're not as new.
The right piece of music.
They're not as new because.
Well, no, he didn't. Well, he didn't. He didn't. The shots aren't groundbreaking. I mean, other than the Steadicam use actually could. I mean, honestly, like it's. I mean, it's all good. That's just the thing.
Well, he was a perfectionist. I mean, he was, like I said, he was a photographer.
Well, even the audio. What you said about him rolling over the carpet like that. He just knew how to capture all those different elements to make this film be
something so simple as that, but it has such a big impact.
Yeah.
That guy's looking at a calendar, a nudie calendar.
I mean,
hey, creepy, get out of here.
the scariest moments of this film are the slow zooms and the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's
no dialogue.
It makes you
because it puts you there.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it makes you uncomfortable because you feel like you're there and you don't know what's going to happen next.
Fuck is Stapleton?
Well, I just got in from Miami.
Is that the Chris Stapleton Airport?
Absolutely. Yeah, actually, that's right.
The snowplows are keeping.
Pooch air freshener.
I feel like this guy's been in something too.
It's in the background.
Yeah, see,
it's a cartoon, some cartoon.
I thought that was Hong Kong Phooey. I was gonna
that could be. Every time I watch movies and there's a TV on, I always feel like.
Oh, that's Bugs Bunny.
It's some cartoon. Right? I don't know.
He calls Danny Doc through the whole movie. But I always feel like if there's a TV on the background in a film, they had to, whatever's on that TV has to be intentional.
Oh yeah, it's a tape. Yeah. Like they throw a tape up.
I think there's something on there that they want you to know.
Of course,
it's a hint. It's either foreshadowing something or it's a reference or.
Oh, it's that was the Bulldog.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, I think it's Tom and Jerry.
Oh, thanks.
Because it's a reference to his voice words.
It's that big stout Bulldog guy. That was the only character.
There's Napa, Coca-Cola. There's a lot of product placement in this film.
Well, good morning. You're with Hal and Charlie on Radio 63.
You guys know something I'm working on? I don't know if I told you guys this, but I really want to get for the A2Z movie night, since we live so close to Houston. I've been trying to find out some more obscure productions that were in Houston, and I want to get a producer or a director on here. I'm working on the guys that made Sidekicks.
What?
This shot right here. This was
Tim ain't impressed.
No. Well, I just wanted before we miss it. That red VW bug that's crushed right there.
Oh yeah, for
sure. In the book, he specifically said
that's like red straight crush.
He said it's a red VW bug that they show up in. In the movie, it's a yellow VW bug.
Yeah.
He put that in there as a fuck you to Stephen King, like saying, "Hey, this is my movie. I'm gonna do what
I'll do it however I want."
Yeah, I'm gonna do however I want.
Wait, it was
a bold.
It was a yellow VW bug in the beginning.
In the book, it's a red VW bug that they drive up there.
It was, yeah.
So he went and took a red VW bug and showed it smashed, basically saying, "This isn't yours anymore. I'm gonna do what I want with this film."
Goddamn.
even if it's just something as little as changing the color of the fucking car they're driving.
Stanley Kubrick, I want to fight you when you were 30. Let's fight.
He was a fucking genius. He always had a chess set on set. He actually, when he was in his younger days, he was a chess hustler in New York and stuff.
I bet he was.
He made money off of it. Like he would hustle people playing chess and made a living for a while. Okay. He was a very, very smart man.
I'm okay at chess.
Him and Jack would play on the set, and Jack said he never won a single game.
I bet he didn't.
Yeah, Kubrick beat him every single time.
I'm definitely not a genius by any stretch.
I'm not good at chess. Chess is not my game.
Me and Jody are the reigning, we're the champions of Thirsties. You know that?
Yeah, I don't.
Because y'all are the only people that have played each other.
No, well,
I'll play with Aaron, but I don't like to play with Jody because he makes fun of me the whole time.
Yeah, Jody and I play.
Dumb.
Jody and I play chess, and we'll literally go like, Jody wins, I win. Jody wins, I win. Jody wins, I win. We do like that, and it depends on like how fucked up I am, how well I do, because I'm very impulsive. But there was one time one guy came in, who was a guy from Austria. His name was Maximilian.
I remember that night.
He was a big douche.
I remember.
And
like, he ended up being a douche. Yeah.
Everything he ever said was
I think
like,
he was a douche the entire time.
Yeah, everything he ever said was like braggadocious. And you know how Jody acts whenever this happens. He's like, "Fuck you, fuck your shit." So the guy was talking about. He's like, "I played the chess in the boarding school in Austria, yeah." And we were like, "Oh, cool!" And because we were playing, like me and Jody were playing a board game. We were playing chess while he showed up. He's like, "I played some games. I was very good. I was head of the chess in Austria." And we're like, "You want to play a game?"
Well, you in Beaumont now, motherfucker.
Bro,
shut that shit down.
Me and Jody fucking crushed that dude, and we were like good cop, bad cop. I played him first, and I beat him, and I was not like braggadocious. I was not like, yeah, fucking suck my dick, bitch. I was like, all right, cool, man. That's a good game.
Chess is a really weird game to like get that way.
For sure. Well, Jody
What's
did.
up, punk?
Well, Jody didn't, and then he was like, okay, cool, yeah, you played a good game. I was like, yeah. Do you want to? I was like, I don't care. It's something I set. I don't. You want to play Jody? Go ahead and play Jody. And Jody played him like it was like bam, 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 bam. Whenever Jody won, and he was like, fuck your shit, fuck Austria, go back there. And be an asshole.
I'm not saying anything about Austrians, but that dude was a massive fucking.
That guy was such a fucking douche. To the point where I think he might have been faking his everything.
I think he was overdoing his accent.
Yeah.
For sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think he was hamming it up.
I think he was French and he was pretending.
Okay, now, this is obviously the whole all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. When she starts flipping through the stack. This is Kubrick fucking genius. This is probably
Make a dull bot? Make a
dull boy.
No, it's a dull bot.
Well,
that's what I'm... Hold on, that's what I'm getting at.
Those typos.
This is probably, as far as on screen, the best representation I've ever seen to just in a simple way to show that somebody's just gone fucking crazy.
Sure.
Now, there's a lot of rumors that if you look at each page closely as she starts flipping through them, very, very closely. There were typewriters at this time that you could put in something and it would just keep printing it out.
Yeah, of course.
But play without the Y. There's typos on every fucking page. On every single page, there's typos. Which means there's a big rumor that Kubrick actually did all of these.
He just cranked them all out.
That's what a lot of people say is like you could put it. Most say there's misspellings, there's typos,
there's different spacings.
Yeah, I mean every page is different.
Yeah.
So the going rumor is that Kubrick himself actually, over weeks of filming, did all of those himself.
Yeah, and you only see probably like 10% of the stack, but I'm pretty sure every page on that stack has
that. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, like. I don't think this woman has ever...
That means the entire time they've been there, he hasn't been doing any novel. From day one, he's just been typing that. Yeah. And then this, when he steps into frame, it's so creepy.
Fuck, it's so scary.
So scary.
Jesus.
How do you like it?
It's... Her performance is so good, and the way you guys have been describing her like, being terrorized...
Yeah.
She probably is fucking scared as shit at this point.
It's kind of worth it. It was kind of worth it.
Kubrick,
it's kind of worth it, man. Like her fucking faces, Jesus.
Kubrick, which is very rare in films, but he insisted on filming this whole film in sequence.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, really?
A lot of films don't do that because he wanted to break her down gradually as
they
filmed. Yeah.
So everything was done
in
as
sequence. Yeah. A lot of films don't do that.
So
almost no films.
So they left this set up the entire time they were shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he wanted to film in sequence so that he could slowly break her down. So that by the time they got to these scenes, she was already broken.
What do you want?
And me and my girlfriend Mary went as Jack and Wendy.
Wait, Mary's girlfriend?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Wait, it wasn't this Halloween. It was the Halloween before.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was
You know, it's
Halloween
kinda-
before. I had that
Hey,
jacket.
I was just trying to get them deets, boy.
I found the jacket, the shirt.
You know,
Well, I mean, we're always going to
something that's
I got you.
dumb.
I got you.
Okay,
we got it down. We got the baseball bat. She had this. She bought a black wig. I mean, I think we nailed it.
But
No, you guys nailed it.
About
Like,
him,
fucking
about
nailed
him
it.
breaking her down and like trying to get this performance out of her. It's really kind of an interesting the connection between whenever she's been like so stressed out and she has these single shots and he's the director and he's telling her say this line, because you got to imagine it from like the perspective of her being freaked out and being like a broken wife, to where like he's asking her questions and she has. So it's almost like she is freaked out by what she's going to say, so freaked out trying to say the right thing.
She might piss
Or
off
she's,
Kubrick.
Well, yeah, but she's trying to act the right thing.
Yeah.
So it's like you're getting like because she's actually giving you that view of like a person
really
who's
is.
trying to.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
So do you
And
think?
well, you also got like he would do things like he'd yell cut and be like. He would talk so down to her. He'd be like, "Fucking stop, fucking whining, Shelly. Do your job. This and that." He'd break her down in between takes and make her like start crying, and then he'd go rolling,
Yeah.
and action. He'd break her down to that point and go action, which is genius. I mean, that's a good way of getting a performance out of somebody that is not.
So why do you think that it was so different between the two of these actors? Why do you think he was so harsh on her and not so harsh on Jack?
Because I think Jack was a professional. Jack
Oh,
knew what he
sure,
was
yeah.
doing.
Well, yeah,
I think
that's true.
That's
yeah.
one of those. They say casting. If you cast your movie right, 90% of your job as a director is done.
Done. Yeah.
She was probably miscast, but he was locked in with her, and he was
And he
probably
did his
like,
best,
"Shit,
yeah.
I can't.
Well,
get,
I mean,
I wish I had somebody else, but I'm gonna get it out of her anyway."
Well, no, I mean, I don't. I mean, I would honestly say like miscast is probably not the right thing, because like maybe he had this intention from the beginning.
Yeah,
maybe he wanted somebody who
wanted somebody
hasn't done anything, somebody that he could break.
He
down.
could push around,
and maybe he had
yell at.
planned that out. You know, I wouldn't put it past him.
If she would have
the
been
kind of artist that he was.
Yeah, if she would have been a big star, she would have been like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
And it's so funny talking about this like in a supportive way, you know, but it's not really that so much as like, it's not that I support him breaking somebody's spirit or that I think this is the way it should be done, but like there's an obvious this reason is there's obvious like a reason, and there's something behind that. It actually is an effective directing strategy, even whether it's right or wrong.
I think it's. I mean, clearly it's effective. I think. Has it ever occurred to you my obligations?
Stay away.
What my employers will do.
This is the conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
this is. I think Kubrick put these lines in here saying this is him and his wife probably had a lot of arguments about.
It's his confession.
Yeah,
And
it's him confessing to his wife that
according to the theory. Yeah,
it probably caused strain in our marriage.
To think things over.
You've had.
What's the few minutes more to do you now?
Look at his fucking face.
This had to have been the film that Tim Burton watched and said, "That's my Joker."
Oh yeah, for sure. No, honestly, like if
light of my life.
If I saw this man coming at me, like I'm not gonna stand there. I'm gonna defend myself. Did I just see that face?
Are you're gonna choke Jack out?
If I see that, look, if I see that face,
fuck Jack Torrance.
If I see that face, I'm getting in guard. Like I am on guard. I'm like, this man is attempting to kill me right now.
I mean, what if that's the father of your child who you're trying to
and
help?
You're stuck there with him.
If I see the father,
he's kicked your ass before.
If I see the father who put a baby in my butt and he's looking at me like fucking Jack Torrance is looking at his significant other, I'm gonna choke that dude out. Like I'm gonna fuck him up.
Look at this.
I'm gonna fuck him up.
He's enjoying it at this point. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you, bitch."
Aaron just said he'd choke out Jack Torrance.
No,
Let's
yeah.
make a little
Of course I
check
would.
mark for we got that done.
Hey, that's my one per episode. I'll
knock
fuck
that
Jack
off.
Torrance up, and
This
I will.
right here, whoever this stuntman is, this is a great fall. Look at that. He just goes full for it.
Oh,
just
yeah,
all the
for
way
sure.
back.
They probably patted him down a little bit, huh? You
Dude,
think?
that is.
I don't know, man.
That's one of the most under.
They might have patted the stairs a little bit.
That's like one of the most underappreciated people in Hollywood at this stuntman.
Stuntman?
Yeah,
I fucking
the
love
unsung
stuntman.
heroes. Yeah.
You know, not to get like way off base, but you know that
No, Halloween. The guy, one of the stuntmen And the guy that did a lot of that, he eventually directed the remake of Night of the Living Dead.
For sure. Yeah, that's right.
I'll
The
bring
remake
up.
of Night of the Living Dead was directed by Tom Savini, who was the makeup artist.
The makeup
There was
artist.
something we found
Friday
connection.
the 13th.
Listen to the Halloween episode we're going to put out in a few
He
days.
was a
You'll hear.
stuntman, and I believe
There was some kind of
I
connection.
believe halfway through
And
the movie,
10 more
they
10 more
recast him.
days from where we're at right now. So 10 more days we'll
10 more
yeah,
days.
It was a
10 more
stuntman, and
days.
they recast
Well,
him.
no. Tim Savini was a stunt man in a couple of movies
He
later
was
in life.
he was a makeup artist.
No, I know, but he was also
He does do stunt work. Yeah,
he did
you're
stunt
right.
work in
He
some
does,
like
big
other
characters.
remakes. Yeah.
I would love to
Yeah,
be a
you're
stunt man. I really would. I would love to do that shit.
Set me on fire. Put a roll cage in
Well-
a car and let me crash it into a wall. Fuck yeah.
I have a unhealthy lack of fear for most things, and I would do very well. Like I'm not 1 ounce claustrophobic at all,
Oh, I'm super claustrophobic.
bro. I'm like,
But I mean, like, you put me in a suit, set me on fire, put me in a car, tell me to crash into that wall.
I'll crash. I'll
yeah.
crash a car. I'll fucking flip down the stairs. I have very good.
This is a big important scene coming up here in a
Okay.
little bit.
We're gonna see more
Clearly,
Tang.
nothing was in those boxes. Oh no, those were Rice Krispie boxes. So.
She's like, Jack, you need to cool off. I'm putting you in the freezer, bro.
Again, with the impossible layout of this hotel.
Oh yeah, the big knives. Yeah.
Well, the impossible layout of the hotel, where from the point where she knocked him out at the bottom of the stairs, she dragged his ass a long way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To get him to
for
that
sure.
dry storage.
Yeah.
That little frail woman.
Let me out of here and I'll forget the whole goddamn thing.
This is a.
Just like nothing ever happened.
What's he pushing on? What is that?
It's the push. He's in a dry storage.
Oh
vault
yeah. So
type door.
that's the
Yeah.
That's like
that
the
door handle, basically.
The door handle. Yeah.
So you can't get locked in.
This is the 80s. Or the 70s.
This
I'm
is
sorry.
typical. Look how he changes.
Wendy, baby.
Typical abusive husband.
Yeah.
Alcoholic. At first, his first instinct is rage.
This
Let
is-
me out of
yeah,
here and I'll
yeah, yeah.
forget the whole goddamn
If
thing.
that don't work-
That don't work.
Yeah.
He appeals to her sympathy.
Bro, it's classic Dwight Yoakam from Sling
Yeah,
Blade.
it's.
I'm hurting Linda.
Yeah.
I say this to Zach all the time. I don't know why, but I always I'm hurting Linda.
Yeah, he goes, baby, I think you hurt my head real bad. He gets angry. That doesn't work. He appeals to her sympathies.
Baby, you know
a
I need my
total,
medicine.
What's the word?
It's sociopathic behavior.
Well, yeah,
Is that what you're talking
sociopathic.
about?
Yeah, and just taking advantage of her
Yeah,
because it's
It-
worked before.
It's emotional manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation. That's the word.
Manipulation.
I'm looking for. Thank you. He's trying to manipulate her because he's done it probably a million times in the past to this woman.
Come on, girl. You can get your child away.
Wendy?
Oh god, he's so crazy looking. Look at him. Fuck.
In this shot, Kubrick is on the floor, in between Jack's legs, with a camera facing up at him, laying on his back to get this angle. You got a big surprise coming to you.
You're not going anywhere.
I love seeing Jack Nicholson's feelings. It's so real. It's so real.
See what I mean?
You know who has like another very famous like
Check it out.
who has another famous like scene from a movie where you can see their feelings and it kind of takes you out of the movie? You know the scene in 300 where you see Gerard Butler going like,
oh no, like, I was gonna say
is
the period
You can
piece.
see his feelings.
Sparta, and you can see his back.
All the effects they did on the abs
You
for that
can
movie, and they
yeah.
couldn't take out the
No, those
feelings.
weren't, those weren't effects for his abs. They all had abs.
Some
No,
of them were
they
effects.
painted it
Yes.
on.
No, they weren't. Well, they were makeup.
No,
but they all had
there
abs.
was CG work
Yeah.
on some of the.
No,
the
they
people.
make up all of them, and some of it was CGI.
Dog, they did
like
eight-
background characters.
I mean, I know
not the people
a lot of
before.
them were super buff.
They
yeah,
did. They
but
did 8 months of work.
I know, but
except for
there,
Gerard Butler.
there was.
Gerard Butler was the only one who
Yeah.
said, and
they very famously did
and, yeah.
paint on the lines
No.
to make their abs look better.
and
This
famously,
is totally a thing moment right here. Yeah.
oh god, it is.
oh yeah, fucking
Oh, the hood's open.
Wilford Brimley.
Everything's all
Yeah,
fucked up.
Wilford Brimley
Yeah.
went and fucked up all the helicopters.
Make a spaceship.
Making a spaceship.
I gotta make sure that this diabetes doesn't get out to the rest of the world. Because if it does, the whole humanity's done with.
It's just
and
it's
they failed.
distributor
did.
cap.
He has to distribute cap. You can just plug it back in.
I
Well,
know
it looks
the
like
wires
he
are cut.
he cut the tubes and everything on it.
Oh, 4-cylinder, I guess.
She don't know how to
But
put
that was the
back on.
distributor cap, though. So time has been ever
So
shrinking.
it was 8 a.m.
I
was
was
8
wrong.
a.m. was the last one.
I was wrong. I said it went from days, weeks, months.
No, it's been
goes
shrinking.
backwards.
Yes,
Yeah,
it went from-
So the last one we saw was 8 a.m. right?
yeah.
And now it's 4
It
p.m.
shrinks from November, October, Monday, Tuesday,
No, I think-
Wednesday, 8 a.m., 4 p.m.
I think the
but-
first one said months. I think the first one said 1 month. Or no, the first
Well,
one was
y'all
a
go
date.
back and fact check us on that. We'll have to find
The
out.
first one said it like interview. That was the very first one.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the interview, and then after that it said a date, and then after that it said 1 month later. And then after that it said Thursday, and then after Thursday it was starting to be like smaller than it was days, and then hours.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's been shrinking.
Right. It went from
to kind of almost amp up an anxiety.
Well, it does. Yeah,
like it
ramps
feels
up.
like you're building up to something, which you obviously are.
That's what this whole movie.
So
could
he's
be
been in
called.
there with all
Yeah.
this food. He's been eating Oreos and peanuts.
I can see his fucking fat ass has gotten bigger.
So Grady's talking to him, going, "Hey Jack, what the fuck? I thought we had a deal. How'd you let that woman get the best of you?" Now this is something that
This dude's wearing Timberlands, dead ass.
Yeah.
Straight up, dead ass wearing Timberlands.
Treetop apple juice. Look at all the product placement in there.
Heinz.
Heinz ketchup, Heinz sweet
Oh,
relish.
this is kind of interesting. Daylight savings time.
What are you looking up, Zach?
Just found a
What are you
weird
fact
little
checking for
article.
us?
See
Yeah?
this shot right there, talking about product placement and
Comet. Yeah.
Calumet and Tang. All those Calumet stood. You never see the whole label on any of them. They're all turned certain ways to where
Sure.
if you pieced them all together, you get the whole thing.
And you'll notice it's like a complete
The Massacre of the Native Americans, Tang,
Well,
space.
I think like I really hate this term.
And I mean, come on, Oreos. We all know what Oreos mean, right? Come on.
Oh, this is funny.
Ebony and Ivory. But what's funny to me, I'm going to go ahead and like go off on this little spiel. It's going to be like maybe a minute and a half. But I really do hate this modern usage of cultural appropriation. I really do. I fucking hate it. Like, and I rail against it. Like, I rail against it. But this movie really signifies the dangers of cultural appropriation when we're talking about it in proper terms, right? I think so. Like, it's these guys in this hotel that are completely and utterly.
These guys, you mean the family or the ghosts?
No,
the
I mean
spirits?
like I just mean the entire hotel, the entire entity. They're completely and utterly separated from any Native American tribe, anything like that. No Native Americans are benefiting from them having art in there, and all of their art, except for the American flags, is like Native American basically. All the rugs.
Well, I think it's just there because it's
And
subliminal.
it is subliminal, but
he's putting different. Yeah.
no, for sure. But that's the point I'm getting to is like it's exploitative. You know, it's Colorado. It's very, very exploitative of it. And now when we start saying like when we say cultural appropriation, like it's kind of a false flag. Like there's not a lot of cultural appropriation that people point out these days that I think is real.
Yeah.
But in this movie, I think it's like very real, and I think he's saying it with those cans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's trying to say it with those cans.
Right, I know you are. Like this is it. Like this is like a bunch of people profiting off of maybe a long history
of genocide.
of
history of genocide.
Yeah.
And that scene right there too. You hear Grady unlock the door. So people go, okay, well the ghosts are that strong that they can physically
break fucking deadlocks off.
So well, you could just say that's because they've become strong enough to do that now because of Jack's willfulness to be involved in it.
Wait, how's Scatman in a fucking snowcat?
Well,
where did this come from?
He rented one at that station. We saw the guy,
cool.
so he could get up the mountain. That's the only way to get up the mountain. So some people are like, okay, well, the ghost could unlock the door and let him out. So there's two explanations. Either it's because the ghosts are strong enough now to do those kind of things because of Jack's willingness to go along with
He gave them a conduit.
The other explanation is that Danny did it.
Oh,
there's two underlying themes here that Jack had a death wish and came here to die. The other explanation is that Danny might be trying to murder his father, willingly using the hotel, using his gift against his own father.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stab my own dad,
drive him insane.
but that Danny might be unconsciously.
Because he has the power.
Yeah, because he has his power.
But he knows
and
that he knows that he's a bad man.
Yeah,
so.
he knows his dad's bad.
And he
that
knows his mom's not going to do anything
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. She doesn't have the willpower to do it, so he has to step up and do something about this because he knows his dad's going to eventually kill them. So
I found something pretty cool. I was doing some Googling, figuring out about the title cards. So the guy at the beginning is explaining to him. He's sitting at the desk with the impossible window. He explains to him that the season runs from May 15th to October 30th, which means that their
season.
It means that their first day that they take over is on October 31st.
Oh, October 31st.
Which is Halloween.
Wow.
Dope.
So their first day in the hotel by themselves is Halloween.
That's not on accident.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
And then most of the next title cards a month later, they skip over all the holidays because it's
we
a
were
fucked up
talking about,
family. They
hey,
don't care
this
about
is part of the 13 days, but it's not really a horror film. It's not this and that. There's
your fucking
there it is.
There's your tie-in, people.
There it is.
I'm gonna
see. We know what we're doing. We're pretty goddamn smart.
So
I wouldn't say that. But
so one thing.
Oh wait, we've been talking about mirrors. You keep mentioning mirrors.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Red rum in the mirror. It's murder. There's another.
Well,
I never thought about that.
Jack's headspace is
Red
in
rum.
that mirrored
Look,
world.
dude,
This would be the third time we've seen something in a mirror.
And even the D's and the
That's
R's
crazy.
are backwards and
Because when you
everything.
look at it in the
Yeah.
mirror, they're right ways. Look,
That's
you'll
crazy.
See it,
Yeah.
When she sees it in the mirror, that's why the D's
Which
and R's
why
are
it would
backwards.
frame him in the mirrors too. Yeah.
Well, one D's backwards and one
You write it backwards.
one R is backwards, but one's not.
In the in the mirror, it's
He probably wrote that, and the spirit went fuck.
yeah.
So this thing this is
He's
like
trying to wake. It's like, Mom, we gotta go.
literally this has always bothered me about this movie. Oh yeah, she saw that in the mirror.
And here he is.
Here he is. What's always bothered me is this fucking knife. Like,
I've never seen a knife like that.
That's
before.
not a real knife.
I've never seen a knife like that.
It's
yet.
really not like it.
Worst knife.
I don't know why I don't know why Kubrick made this knife a thing because it's not a realistic knife.
He did it on purpose, probably to make it look so huge
Well, no,
in
but-
Wendy and Danny's hand.
But you have 6-inch chef knives, 8-inch, 10-inch. Then you have
That's not
12.
a chef's knife.
But then you have 12-inch carvers, but they don't look like that. Like that's not.
It's like it's got a bowed end to
I
it.
think
you're right. I've never seen a knife.
I think it might be.
As far as a kitchen,
I love that shot where they do the fast pan back and forth.
I think that knife might invoke the same things that the rest of the film is like, where
it's not
this
quite.
this interior is like way too big, nothing's real. Like
Right.
that knife's
It's not quite real.
It's not a real knife. There's
They
no.
got some damn sturdy doors in this
I'm
hotel.
I'm just saying that knife's not a real knife.
No,
at all.
you're right.
It's completely like there's no knife in the world that looks like that unless it was a movie
All this
prop.
exterior, that's not snow. That's dairy salt and styrofoam.
Wow.
And when
Jesus.
when they walked around, especially in the maze scene, dairy salt and styrofoam.
Open that window up larger, girl. Come on.
Her boobs won't fit through.
She ain't got no boobs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well.
Which is, I mean, it's good for her, you know?
Yeah, but it was
Just open
extremely
it up.
toxic.
Just open it up further.
He even put smoke in the air because he had seen it in a movie before to make it look colder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally toxic for them to be breathing in.
For sure.
Well, were we talking about that in the thing where they were burning all those plastics?
Yeah.
and
Yeah, they
yeah.
burn for the really,
He
really
would
black
pump
smoke.
the
yeah.
whole area with that smoke because it made it look colder outside.
And they can only like spend 10 minutes at a time in it.
And
or
the
5.
the dairy salt and everything that they're walking around on, they had to. It would rot through their boots. The film crew, like
Jesus.
after a couple days, they
It would
have to,
rot through
yeah,
their
It would eat
boots?
through the soles of their boots when they're running around in that shit.
Wait, dairy salt? What the
Yeah.
fuck is dairy salt?
I'm assuming that's another word for rock salt or something like that. But apparently, running around in it would eat through the rubber soles of their boots. The film crew, and they would
It
have
sounds-
to change out their shoes.
It sounds like a chemically alkaline salt or
It's
something.
a food preservative
Yeah, it could have some kind of chemicals in it.
used in the preparation of butter.
Another reference to cartoons.
Oh yeah, yeah, the three
And
little
I'll
pigs.
blow your house in.
Here we go. The meme in its final form.
I mean, one of the most classic films in movie history.
A line,
really.
which was ad-libbed, by the way, by Jack
And
Nicholson.
look how realistic her fucking expressions are. She's
How
like
terrified. Because
she's
he's
like,
really chopping through that door with an axe.
she's
right
like, I think I'm gonna fucking die.
Probably Kubrick doing it too. Like, you,
Well, no, there's
I
a behind
really
the
think I'm
scenes
gonna
shot.
die.
There's in the documentary, you can see Jack Nicholson getting himself hyped up before they film this, and he's walking around the room with the axe going, I'm an axe murderer, I'm an axe murderer, and with the DOP walks by, the director of photography, for you people that aren't film buffs, he walks behind
Just
Jack,
DP,
and Jack is like
DP.
doing these practice
Yeah.
swings, and he almost
Wait
fucking
for it.
hits the guy in the head. He almost hit the director of photography in the head with that axe.
God damn, this movie's got me on fucking edge. And you told me earlier when we were like chatting on a group text that was ad-libbed, Tim.
Yeah. You said that, yeah.
That was ad-libbed. I always hate that. Always fucked me when she cuts his hand because it looks so real. It looks like she really cuts him.
Well,
but he ad-libbed that "Here's Johnny." I don't know what the actual line was. The only reason Kubrick kept it in the film is because he didn't get the reference. He had never seen the Johnny Carson show. That's how.
Kubrick's British, isn't he?
Ed McMahon.
He's British, right?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. He was afraid of flying. He would never fly to America. You had to. He was almost borderline agoraphobic in his later years.
He was like Howard Hughes level, actually.
Yeah,
I think
he wouldn't fly. Yeah.
Oh, because all the exterior shots, he didn't really have to tell them any. Yeah.
He was never there for that.
He was fucking weird. That guy was so strange.
Hey man, the geniuses usually are. Look at Ted Kaczynski.
Dude, I'm so glad I'm not a genius.
Christ.
Well, he was a fucking genius. He had a IQ of.
Wait, is it the Unabomber?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. That's why he went and lived in a shed in the woods because nobody understood him.
Well, it's such a burden. Like it's really such a burden.
If nobody ever gets you.
Yeah, it really is.
That's why, like you were saying earlier, that's why most geniuses are fucking assholes.
It's a burden.
Well, compared to most of society and what we call normal behavior, I guess you could say.
That's why Plato's
when you're always talking to somebody and they never understand you, you get fucking frustrated.
Dog. Jurassic Park fucking is an homage to The Shining.
Yeah.
I just realized.
Even in Jurassic Park, when they try to slide it close, it doesn't close.
It's kind of far-fetched, but it's really
that's
not.
Not far-fetched
it's
at all.
really not.
Guarantee that's not.
I'll buy it.
That is not far-fetched at all. Guaranteed.
I'll buy that for
because that is the scariest scene in that whole movie. And it was all so tension-based, like in Jurassic Park. Oh, you poured us a shot. Cheers. Look at you. Cheers, everybody.
I didn't pour those.
Shouts out Jameson.
Shouts out, send us some shit.
Send us some Stay Free Maxi Pads.
You know something, guys? I think one day we should do a movie and make it a drinking game. Like, legitimately make a movie night drinking
how many
game.
times do they say this?
Yeah,
Take a shot every time they
we'll
look at the... Yeah.
Look, we'll make it. We'll do a movie. And
maybe we take a poll for a movie and then we'll make it drinking.
Maybe
what would be that movie?
Maybe so. I think that might be a cool thing.
It'd either be a bad movie or maybe we'll do Blazing Saddles.
It should be a bad movie, yeah.
Just one of those one of those iconic movies.
Every time they
do something racist,
every time they
take
do
a shot.
racist,
nah, we'll be super fucked up.
We'll be fucked up 20 minutes in.
But I think we should. I think we should do like a drink.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and then people can like play along with us.
We should figure out what movie it is, and
because that would be a more interactive podcast. People like, hey, play along with us if you got the balls.
It could be any movie. Honestly, we'll make up the rules as we go.
Yeah, you could do that with any movie. Just pick what it is.
You could do it with The Shining. Anytime you see Jack Nicholson making a crazy face, take a drink. Like it could literally be any movie.
I always love that axe he has too because it's so shiny.
Oh, it's a fireman's axe. It's not even. It doesn't even make sense why he has it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why would they have that axe there?
It would be like at the fire station on a wall,
or out in a shed.
It's not a woodsman's axe, though.
Yeah, what are they? They ain't chopping wood out there. Well, they do have that big giant fireplace in the main lobby.
What's a woodsman's axe? What's the difference?
Well, it has that one has the spike on the back of it, which is a fireman's axe.
So
the back spike is for breaching like doors and other things. And you really need it a lot of times, but in a woodsman's axe
doesn't have
it's just flat.
It's flat on the back, yeah.
So that's in case of fire. Somebody sets their hotel room on fire.
I know too much about axes.
Don't give yourself too much credit. We caught on pretty quick.
No, if I gave myself credit for one thing, it would be my axe knowledge.
That's the one thing.
That's the one thing. I do have a lot of axe knowledge.
We were talking about... I'm going to wait for it.
See, they've
cashier right there. They might have like a little,
check it out.
Casino in that hotel somewhere.
God damn.
Basket, man.
Jesus.
I don't know that you could put that axe right into his chest through that big coat and all that.
Nah, you could.
It wouldn't look like that, but it would definitely...
the blood wouldn't come spurting out of me.
Bro, dog. It would be very similar.
Well,
honestly.
right there, what I was saying earlier, watch where his tennis ball lands in one scene. His tennis ball at one point landed right in that circle, which is the spot where he ends up killing Scatman.
I don't think so. That was in a hallway.
I don't remember. No, I know this shot we're talking about. I was
in a hallway.
I was wrong in that scene. But
that was on carpet.
No, not that part. No.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
Is that a cigarette machine right there? What is that?
Yeah, it was a cigarette machine. So one thing interesting about the scene that we just saw was that wasn't Native American rugs, that was actually tile. So that was definitely appropriation because, like, white people laid all that tile down. That was, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to tie it together.
Yeah. This is where the hotel's getting a lot stronger. So she now, like we were saying, it's never fucked with her. It's not until now.
Yeah.
And this shot was one of the creepiest things to this day.
The fuck is going on there?
Fucking creepy as shit right
Fucking
there.
furries, bro.
That mask.
Oh, and that's the dude.
The blowjob from.
It's like some congressman.
God, and that quick zoom. Oh man, still to this day just gave me shivers.
That's like.
But see, that's saying like the hotel's getting stronger.
Yeah.
That now she's starting to see shit too. She's the only one that hadn't seen anything to this point.
It's come alive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting stronger and stronger. The longer that Jack and Danny are there, because Jack can shine too.
I fucking love this scene where they got the snow coming in, everything. Oh my god,
Jack
so
can.
good.
They don't push that much of this movie, but Jack has that same ability. He passed it down to Danny.
Yeah.
And that's why they've attached themselves to him. Is because they want his power for themselves.
I mean, Danny's obviously powerful enough. He can call people from
And
all the way across the country.
From Miami. He's stronger than his father too. He's learned how to control the power. Jack, they use that as a gateway to manipulate him.
I guess his mother is very lightly in the power because she could see some.
Well, I mean,
shit.
going back to the
I
thing,
don't think that's her power anymore. That's just the hotel strong enough now that it's manifesting.
Well, I
itself
mean,
to her,
he's the product of the mixture of pure innocence and pure evil. I guess you say.
For sure.
But also, I mean, going back to the thing he's saying that he,
Kylo Ren,
but he did this to kill him. Like, you know, maybe they're trying to help him come to that aim. But if you want something done by some spirits, then you're gonna have to take a little give and take. You know,
you need a
dude.
They're not gonna make it easy on you.
Y'all, this Steadicam work is fucking amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's insane.
Because you know it's not. Look, it's not like a little flimsy digital cam. It's not like a Red One on a Steadicam.
Camera, yeah.
This is a humongous. It's like an RE35.
At night,
if you see the scenes behind the scenes, it's on a gimbal. It's kind of like one of these kind of things.
Of course.
Like these arms.
It's a gimbal.
The guy has this thing around his waist
to
kind of displace the
No,
weight.
we know.
And
so that he can move quickly with it. Y'all know I'm preaching to the choir.
But
these cameras are really heavy
very,
back in the day.
Yeah, back then. And plus, you got to think, like I was saying, all that smoke in the air to make it look colder. It would fuck up the cameras. The cameras would keep breaking down because all that smoke would get in there and it would deteriorate them very quickly, and they had to keep changing them out.
Sorry, you guys still listening. We're just nerding the fuck out. Sorry.
I think that's what they want to hear.
I think so.
They want to know our knowledge of dumb shit.
Those cameras were very heavy, and
very heavy.
And the Steadicam equipment was very bulky. So that guy was like in peak,
probably pretty good shape.
Peak physical.
He was
he might not like it, but he's peak physical.
He was a younger man. He was thin, so he could move quick. Yeah,
he probably had like a really big ass to counterbalance too.
And again, as when I said earlier that y'all definitely should watch this along with us. I know nobody's probably ever done that. But if you don't have this film, I'll let you borrow mine. Come to Thursdays, I'll let you borrow my copy of The Shining. There's Grady after death. That's the blood after he put the shotgun in his mouth.
That's not what a shotgun would do.
Well, yeah, but
maybe.
For their purposes. That's supposed to signify the exit wound on the back of his head.
It depends on the ammo you would use.
When Ullman told the story, he said he put both barrels of the shotgun in his mouth, which means that would have just blown his whole
his head would be gone.
Yeah, a double barrel shotgun that would have blown his whole head apart.
It depends on the ammo you would use. I'm being serious. You could use rat shot.
Now we're
and
getting
it'd be
into semantics.
It's very important.
If that's where we.
This whole episode is semantics, Tim.
Ironically, when they're running through that maze, it was hot as shit in there. They were sweating their fucking asses off. This is kind of like Scooby-Doo almost at this point. This is Scooby running into the room, seeing the ghosts for the first time. It's almost comical.
Yeah, but in Scooby-Doo, none of the paranormal stuff was real. It was always like some old white codger.
Until the
projection screen.
Until the zombie episode, actually.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they did end up doing. And look at this genius kid. Yeah, I always thought this was so clever.
He knew about the footprints.
Oh yeah,
he knows that he's being chased. It's like it's Hansel and Gretel.
The darkest of all.
Well, the breadcrumbs that the Hansel and Gretel leave in the old Grimm fairy tale.
Well, all the crows eat him up.
Yeah, he realizes I'm never going to get away from him because he's just going to follow my footprints. So he backtracks through them.
In this endless shrubbery maze.
I mean, I don't know any 8-year-old that's that smart.
You'd be surprised. I teach some 8-year-olds that are very, very smart. Very smart. They're smart asses, actually. Goddamn elevator.
And the blood is supposed to signify the Native Americans. You know,
oh yeah,
it's on the Indian burial ground. This is the blood of all the people that have died on this plot of land.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, production-wise, did they do the blood elevator scene in one day and just get like all the shots I needed?
It was one take.
Oh, one take, and they just like had they probably had like 7 cameras up, so they could get everything they needed.
And he just reused different.
Because
I think that is the 3rd time we've seen it in the film. Danny has a vision of it earlier. He sees it again later. He has another vision of it, and then then Wendy just saw it.
And the cameras were like 120 FPS, so they could.
You never
slow it
actually
down.
see. Yeah. So you can get every that frame rate.
There's a bunch of cameras on one event because you can't clean that shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do a retake.
Yeah, we got one take, so let's get it from.
You want to
take
a guess how many gallons?
Oh shit! 42,000 gallons.
That's too much.
I'm just using the number 42.
4,200 gallons.
3,000 gallons.
Way closer, Tim. Suck my dick.
Yeah.
That's a fucking lot.
Yeah. Shot on the sound. It was shot in miniature.
It was shot in miniature?
That's right.
Not. I'm probably not.
Not a minute. It was
not
tiny,
tiny, but
no. Yeah, it was scaled to.
Half scale.
Yeah, half scale. Yeah, there you go.
He wanted to look as close to reality as possible.
Yeah.
And then did a slow frame rate, probably like 60 frames a second.
Which will make you feel uncomfortable, like everything else in this film.
Yeah.
Because your brain is constantly, like, true horror lies in those dark zones of your brain where your brain's trying to like figure something out.
Well, no, you talked about this in something with the physics of it and how it moves.
I've talked about this in a lot of things. Like we have like software running in the background. If we want to talk about our brains as computers, we have software running in the background that's always trying to verify things.
Calculating, yeah.
It's always verifying. That's why
you don't know it, but yeah, your brain is trying to.
And this isn't like, it's not a shame thing, but that's why if you're thinking about having plastic surgery on your face, don't, because we have these softwares running in the background where like something's not right with your face and it makes us unease, and we calculate all of the ratios and everything with everything. It came from our.
Well, it's like, have you ever thought you didn't look that great, and then you look at photos from you at that time period and you like, man, I look
fantastic.
Look great. Yeah. Yes.
It's just
or it's the sound of your voice.
The sound of the voice is a big thing.
That's a big one. But with visuals though, like specifically, it's very strange. Our evolution and why we are more adept than the other apes is because we've discovered like 3D viewing and shadows and all this shit, and we have that shit running in the back of our brain. And when something is like just a tad bit off, like if it's
Slightly
a miniature, slightly askew, it makes us very uncomfortable.
Or they'll use a tilted angle.
Right. It makes
Dutch angle.
That's usually there you go. The Dutch angle usually signifies something's off, or it's a dream.
Well, even the Steadicam does
Yeah.
that to us.
Because the Steadicam, it puts you there. You're in there.
Absolutely,
with them.
That's why there's a difference between the Steadicam and the zooming.
You're following. Yeah.
Because
there's not that.
We're so visual.
Oh yeah.
It's like you're running around in there with them. And this is, we talked about 2001. Like the whole story. You know, at the beginning of 2001 with the monkeys and everything, and the obelisk shows up. He's degrading down into a primal state here.
Yeah.
He's not even making coherent
He's
words.
a chimp right now.
Yeah, he's de-evolving basically. Yeah, I mean, he's not even making.
I think the word is devolving.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Because he knows he's done.
Well, I think the spirits or whatever it is that's taken him over are realizing that he isn't.
Well,
they sucked him dry, basically.
And plus, he's not inside the hotel, so they can't help him. You know, he's outside. He's trapped in the maze.
But that's also the thing. Is like
they can't get out there and help him.
Scatman sacrificed himself to give them a way out. They just got into his ride that he just drove in there because he demolished the other one.
Yeah. He was, whether he knew it or not, he was even though Scatman died, he was still their salvation.
Came all the way from Miami, man. Could have just stayed in Miami.
Just to get an axe in the chest. That kid better go off and fucking cure cancer or something. That's a very famous shot right there, too. I love this song coming up here.
It's just so still.
The name of the song is Midnight with the Stars and You. And I love it. Unfortunately, it's not on the jukebox at Thirsty's. I've looked. I've tried.
Still got a good jukebox, though.
Oh, yeah. I got to give a shout out to my dear friends, Bridie Coughlin, who's now Bridie Bartolucci, and Casey Bartolucci. Bridie Coughlin was Andy Coughlin's daughter. They had their wedding at the art studio a few years back, and I had the privileges of being the bartender.
You dressed up like the bartender from here?
No. I had the privilege of bartending their wedding at the art studio, and their wedding photo, they superimposed their faces onto this photograph right here.
Wait a minute. I just got back. I'm sorry. Wait, whose wedding? Whose wedding?
Bridie Coughlin, Andy Coughlin's daughter.
There's Jack Nicholson on the bottom right there.
Bartolucci. They had their wedding at the art studio a couple years ago, and they asked me to be the bartender at the ceremony. And when you walked into the art studio, this was the photo you saw, and they superimposed them and all their friends and family
into that photo,
onto all of those. I thought that was very genius. See, he looks younger there.
He does, yeah.
He looks the 5 o'clock shadow.
He looks a little younger than he was.
They probably should have given him his hairline back, but yeah.
And then cut down to. We said it was in the 20s earlier. When he was in the ballroom.
July 4th ball, yeah.
Which means, okay, was he always there?
Well, now
or
he is.
Now he's there with. He's one of them. I think he's just one of them now. He's not trapped because he looks like he's having the time of his life. He's like, fuck it, I'll stay here.
Yeah, I don't think he was always
flappers.
there. I think when he showed up, it was in the 70s. It was him, but then he was. Yeah. That's an extra dimensional place exists outside of time.
I like how the credits are kind of offset here.
That picture is a representation of he just died and froze in the snow.
Yep.
But he'll live on in the Overlook Hotel. He is now their party. So when the next caretaker comes, it might not be Grady they see. It'll be Jack.
Jack though. There's no other people there.
Yeah, it'll be Jack that they see. Bella Bartok, the music. Haunting.
There was two people that were over the music.
Haunting music.
The music's kind of weird.
What kind of name is that? Jesus.
I believe it's Norwegian, Jack.
Is that Norwegian?
I told y'all, but
there is a lot of Norwegian. That was Norwegian. They had umlauts.
I'll say it. I'll say it in the. I'll say it in this episode. But I watched the new Tremors.
Yeah.
And like one of the first spoken dialogues in the movie is that whole Norwegian Swede trade-off.
Yeah,
definitely.
I thought that was pretty cool, but the movie's pretty terrible. So, so final thoughts, y'all. We've been wanting to do this for a while. I mean, Tim, basically, we just sat here and just let you just spill your brain out. No, it was good.
Not at all.
But I think I got everything out that I wanted to say. I think we over 2.5 hours. I think I touched on every point I wanted to touch on. I could do 20 more commentaries on this film and never repeat myself. Probably.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones. So this was a big thrill for me. Thank you guys, because this more than any of the other ones we've done.
This is the one we've always talked about
doing. Yeah, this is one of my top 5 favorite films of all time.
Yeah, Aaron.
Well, if you're still listening, I really do appreciate it because this film was the longest. This was really weird. This podcast because when we first started out, we were very reserved and we said like some fun facts and everything and. Coming into this whole thing, I was thinking I was going to like try to tell stories or kind of like get away from the film and I'm doing it. But as the film's climax started to happen and it crescendoed, we crescendoed as well. So,
we tend to do that.
Yeah. As the climax started to happen, we all started like talking very, very boisterously and very loud. And it was
as shots go on and our excitement builds throughout the film, and we get get pumped about these. That's why we do these things. We get pumped. These are labors.
I was sitting here feeling like very like kind of anxious because of the movie and because of what was going on.
Absolutely. So I'm saying is like it was a great podcast. It was a great film, and it was cool for us to do. In the beginning, we were all very sober, and we were just kind of like saying like fun facts, but then as time goes on, we really sort of like get into it a lot more. And I think when you're listening to this right now, and when I'm speaking, like, hey man, this is like real shit. Real shit. So it's cool. It was a good time.
I said that, and
it was a
y'all,
good time.
by this point, y'all have heard the Night of the Living Dead one. I think I said at the end of that one that even as much as I know about these films, every time I do this with you guys,
we learn something new.
Y'all seem to point something out, like the mirror thing that you pointed out.
Yeah.
I had never noticed that before. I always feel like I learned something off of y'all every time, and I love that.
And I love that we did we went off the rails and we did the moon landing conspiracy. I love all that stuff. So I just had a real good time being with OG crew.
9/11 was an inside job. We didn't land on the moon.
Hey, fuck you, Tim. Anyway, so Zach, what's up? Final thoughts?
I mean, I don't think because of how Kubrick was, and because how this movie's presented and everything around it is I know this movie's been done over and over again. None of these facts that we put forth are new. We're not film buffs. None of us read the book.
For sure.
It's I think it was good. I think it was a good episode.
Tim read the book.
Yeah, a long time ago. But
it's the film and the book.
But I think it was a good episode. I had fun with it. I don't think we could ever do this movie fully justice.
Yeah, we can't. I don't
because
think so,
we're not experts in any of these things. But I'm just glad that we finally got to do it.
We didn't
it.
research for a month beforehand to come here and do all this. So it's it's kind of a toss up.
Yeah.
We had you guys Tim knew the most. He was very well researched.
Mm-hmm.
You know more than me.
A little bit,
and then I knew the least. So but we try to make it entertaining for you.
No,
guys.
I think it was great. I had a good time. I had a lot of fun. So
what was the thing that we asked our listeners to tell us about? I think we should repeat that. We said y'all tell us. You said Zach, don't spoil it.
It was a time thing, but I think I already spoiled it.
It was a technique, I think, right?
Technique.
Well, hey, if y'all are listening, y'all know. So tell us.
Yeah, shut up.
We'll be surprised. Surprise us.
You might get something from it. So that'd be cool. And shouts out to Emily because she wanted this episode
Yes, this is
from
one.
day one. From Tremors, from the first episode, she was like, "Can you guys do The Shining?"
Yeah.
From the first episode, this is the one she wanted to do. So
and this is one we always knew we were going to get to eventually.
I'm just happy we finally got to do it.
So I think we all dedicate this episode.
Yeah, this episode
Emily.
to old Emily.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Dedication.
This has been another edition of 13 Nights of Halloween and A2Z Movie Night.
Word. I think that's it.
Cheers, you guys, and
cheers.
Sweet dreams.
Don't forget to like and subscribe anywhere you can. We're gonna chill for a second, but yeah. Leave us a comment. Tell us if you hate us or love us or whatever. I don't care. And tell us that thing we asked because you might get something from it.
And
that thing we asked.
So
that thing we asked.
We're going to Thirsties. We'll see y'all at Thirsties.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Bye.